Jared. The two Hollands playing on each other, Ben and Nick.
Well, their mum and dad would have certainly a difficult afternoon, Hawk.
So the match is underway from the MCG. Hawthorn and Richmond. And a free kick, the first significant possession going to Hawthorn and Harford, who gets them moving via Tallis. There's Holland 1, getting the ball down for the Hawks and getting support from O'Farrell. So they're pushing forward well, and a big opportunity first up for Aaron Lord. Couldn't run onto it. Thompson. Oh, it just came off the end of his foot and out of bounds on the full. Bad luck.
Andy Callaway's picking up Ben Dixon, who's always dangerous for the Hawks.
So Vardy doing a pretty good job for the Tigers in recent weeks at fullback. In the absence of Duncan Callaway, who I guess is another option down there, depending on Gasper, whoever the matchup is. There's the first contest between Hay and Richardson. Good tackling from Crawford.
And I thought Richo just a little bit stiff not to get a free kick there. He did attack the ball well, and I reckon he had his arms scragged.
Greg Tivendale, you mentioned earlier, Jared, he's been a good player for them this year.
And Knights has gone on to Harford, and Wayne Campbell's being picked up.
Vandenberg, Jared.
Tagged by Vandenberg. Thanks, Doug. Bowden with Crawford.
Gasper on Crode across centre half forward for Hawthorn.
Sorry, Hutto. Joel Bowden been in great form the last couple of weeks, and the job's been given to Luke McCabe, so a big job here for Luke McCabe and Joel Bowden.
Ottens won the clear tap, but that was Chick getting it moving. Went for McCabe, but couldn't get it to him. Cox, who does stand out there with the nude nut. Ottens getting it down Cameron. Free kick for in the back. It's going Richmond's way. So Cameron to take it. He had a quiet week last week, Leon Cameron, but it's been terrific for them for a lot of the season. Tivendale presented himself at centre half forward. Goes longer. Ray Hall, the target over his head. And he's opposite number 20. Jade Rawlings starts well for the Hawks in defence. And this is where they try and move it quickly, and where they haven't been able to move it as quickly as they would have liked in recent weeks. Joel Smith with the ball on the wing. Rogers, his opponent. He waited, looking for a man. Leckis, who we saw in very good form here a couple of weeks ago. Needs to get it moving quickly, get it into the open forward line. That's what he does. Lord let him down by spilling the mark. It is a slippery ball, though. Tigers have got numbers. Burke over the top. He dragged it under. But the umpire gives him some latitude.
We're just going to take those opportunities, particularly early in the game. Aaron Lord, here we are. The kick from Angelo Leck was absolutely a ripper. Instead of trying to take it on his hands, he tried to take it on his chest. The ball was just too close to his body. Hands out in front, Aaron Lord.
Has played well in the past in the wet, Aaron Lord. Ottens won the tap down for Campbell. Another free kick, and again it's going Richmond's way for in the back. Wayne Campbell who had just a touch of the flu during the week for the Tigers, but has come up pretty well.
I tell you what, Hutto, we've got a bit of rain, I tell you what, this morning, but the ground still looks like it's in pretty good nick.
No centre wicket area makes an enormous difference. The Gabba was a disaster the last couple of weeks for both the rugby union and the AFL, and they've just got to learn, hopefully come up with the pop in, pop out wickets that they've got here at the MCG.
So Campbell running for another possession from Vardy. Hawthorn with one extra number at centre half forward. Gasper playing forward just for that moment at least. Knights, pressure from Tallis was pretty good. Still the pressure on in the middle of the ground. It's getting hotter. Zilla got a high one. Might get a free kick. He will.
Well, they're having a real lash here, the Hawks, which is fantastic, but they've got to keep the cool in these situations, because giving away free kicks is very counterproductive.
Puts a lot on it. Gasper almost takes it, not quite. Rogers in to provide the pressure and the assistance.
Didn't have possession of the ball. He gets dragged down. Why isn't that a free kick? Dougie.
Well, I'm not quite sure here, Joe. There's the Gasper. There's a tackle. Didn't have the ball. You're right there. No doubt the free kick should have been to Gasper. Gasper's playing at centre half back on Trent Crowe at this stage, but at this stage it's like Holland now has gone across to Crowe with Gasper going to the forward line.
Good work from Ray Hall, and eventually Clinton King, but Cox sees it over the line and out of bounds. And although the ground has come up well, it's still obviously going to be slippery on the top, isn't it, with the footy. So short ball handling will really benefit this afternoon. Hall doing the right work. Harford tapped it down all to Richmond players. Tivendale, that penetrating left foot. It was a pretty good kick too. Right out in front of Richardson. Good secondary spoil from Hay. And now they can run. Graham off his wrong boot. He did very well in the end to find Crow to drop the mark. Had it spent. Free kick against Crow for hanging on. Goes to Andrew Callaway.
Well, disappointing there for Trent Crow, but also for Richo. He's got to become a one-grab player.
He gets another chance. Tough here, but he did enough.
Good decision from the umpire.
Well, you called it beautifully, Gerard. You said he got to be the one-grab player, and that was...
Well, up against the blokes the calibre of Jonathan Hay,
yep.
You just can't give away two chances. You get the one chance, get your arms free, and you've got to be so aggressive to grab that mark.
Well, the same applies to Trent Crow too there, Gerard. I mean, the kick was pretty good coming from Graham, as Hutto said, opposite side of the body. You got to grab those one-grabbers too. The mark was pretty easy by Crow. You got to take those.
So Matty Richardson with 28 goals to his name for the year from outside 50. It's a pretty good kick in terms of distance, but the accuracy just avoiding him. And so the opening scorers are behind to Matthew Richardson. I think was happy to get through last week, coming back from injury against St Kilda.
You see some of the great forwards, Dougie, they're out of position, and yet it's just that they use their strength of mind as much as their strength of body to get that front position and then just snatch the footy and grab hold of it. And Richo has got the strength. He's just got to get that aggression in those marking contests.
Interesting decision on the kick in. He went the longer option for Hay. Altons does well. His kick was a bit indiscriminate. Richardson clever to the front. Clinton King. Can he turn it into a real goal-scoring opportunity? Not yet, at least. Rogers over the top and Campbell. It's going to be a scrap.
I suppose too, Gerard, it's all right for us to sit up here and say you've got to take those one-grabbers. It's a fair comment as well, but you know, both sides have had 9 wins. There's a lot of pressure on both sides. So it'd be fair to say at the start of this game, as Richard Osborne said, there'd be a fair bit of pressure out there the first few minutes.
No doubt about that. Just a good shot there of the close checking of Vandenberg on Campbell.
Well, they worked it outside 50. Cameron measured the pass off to set it up to the front of the square. And again, Rawlings shown the best hand so far in the match with 2 clean marks. And his releasing kick is excellent for Crow. He takes the mark out in front of his body. That was a better effort than the last one. Chick against 2. Callaway harassed him, but Chick did it equally as well, and the ball out of bounds.
I know it's only early days, Gerard, but don't be surprised that Otten certainly goes forward very soon with Rawlings at this stage on top of young Ray Hall. Hall might be better suited to ruck up against O'Farrell.
Well, accentuated cleverly by Nick Holland to take the free kick for in the back against Ottens. McCabe kicked it up to the space, but all Richmond there, they can talk amongst themselves and just ensure that Greg Tippendale can take the mark. And look at the runners out on the wing. One of them is Gasper, running past Chaffee in support, doesn't need him, kicks instead to a one-on-one. Richardson a long way from home, doubles back on Hay. Crow, was that a high tackle off the ball? Might have been, it was. Advantage paid. Richardson with a fumble, has time to steady, has a shot for goal. Interesting decision-making with Ray Hall sitting at the top of the square on his own.
Well, Hutto, I think you called it beautifully. I'm not sure, Richo, I think he said, could I have one drink after that shot for goal?
The only question is, was he asking from the drink from his teammate or from an opposition player?
Maybe someone said, Gerard, why didn't you kick it to the bloke in the centre of the ground then, Richo, instead of having a shot?
Was that team play 1 or 2? And he said, no, it was team play 1. Yeah, well, he's been penalised for it. 50-metre penalty. So, no one on the mark. Tells Chick to run on, and he does, and gets them right inside 50 again. Richmond have got the extra numbers back. Ben Holland can take it over the line. Here's another look at Matty Richardson.
It's going to be opposition, surely.
You would think so. It would have to be.
It has to be.
You'd certainly hope so.
If it was your teammate, you'd be dirty, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So they're working it well, Dixon and Crawford. Again, Richmond have got lots of numbers in the hole, and they've kicked it fairly blind. It's downfield. Yeah. It's downfield against Joel Bowden, and it's going to be a gimme goal.
Well, they're harassing Bowden, and he must have let one go because Crawford is all over him. Gone man on man in the middle against the Tigers, and they're just getting inside a few heads, Doug.
They are, Gerard, and I just touched on it before that Joel Bowden's been an outstanding touch the last couple of weeks.
Aaron Lord kicks the goal, so the Hawks get the last laugh at this stage.
Well, the Tigers have had their opportunities and they haven't been able to convert. Hawthorn, they got one by virtue of a free kick, but they're on the board and they're in front. I don't think either side all that impressive at the moment, Doug, but clearly the Hawks have had enough of everybody criticising their game plan, and they've said, well, we might just tighten up in the middle and just go man on man for a little while.
So there's a bit of feeling out there so far. Opening goal came from a free kick. Otten's doing the ruck work and the roving. Releasing handball was terrific and gets the Tigers quickly into attack, which is so important. Clinton King's ball handling was excellent and Rogers receives.
Geez, that was brilliant from the word go. Otten's did it all, got it to Clinton King, who put a centimetre perfect pass to the man on screen with the ball in Rogers. And have a look at this. Dennis Cometti would have been proud of that one.
So Matty Rogers hasn't been getting a lot of possessions, but he's been chipping in with his 2 and 3 goals, and that's what the Tigers need from him. And accuracy the key here, and that's exactly what he provides. So the Tigers back in front, matching the opening goal from the Hawks.
Well, that's his job, Hutto, no doubt about that. Matthew Rogers. He's kicked now 19 goals, 17, so he's been a little bit inaccurate over there. We see Chaffee get the ball out of centres, having a terrific year for the Richmond side. There's the man. I reckon they've missed a fair bit. He's missed a bit of footy this year, Clinton King, with injury. Kick was absolutely spot on Matty Rogers, and he goes back and does what he has to do, kick a goal. Good play, Rogers.
I think we saw a stat on Talking Footy a few weeks ago about the percentage of games that Richmond have won when Clinton King has been playing as to compared to when he hasn't, and since then they've continued to win. So although stats can mean a lot or little, no, I'm not quite sure it's to that extent.
No King, no Tigers, Doug.
Does show how important he is. Out of the middle, Bowden gets them inside 50. Cox can ease the squeeze for the Hawks. Out wide, Rawlings uses Lekas. Oh, a bit of a fumble. Ray Hall did well. Chaffee, and the ball out of bounds.
O'Farrell appears to be in a bit of strife too, coming from the ground with Batty Gavin, their long-term physiotherapist. He's played more games than you did, Doug, Barry Gavin.
Yeah, Barry's been around a while, hasn't he, Jared? And with him off the ground, you'd think probably Nathan Thompson now will take the ruck with Sean Wren not playing here today.
Now we saw again on screen just a moment ago that you see O'Farrell limping off, and that does make it difficult, doesn't it, without Sean Wren, as Dougie said. We might see Nick Holland or someone like that running the ruck later on.
Tim Hazel, Hutto, on for his first run here for the Hawks.
Yep. They had a couple that have demanded their place in the team with good form for the Box Hill Hawks. He's one of them. Bowden, Knights and Harford. And another bounce.
And boys, young Tim Hazel just did come on the ground. He has got some size about him, so I'm looking forward to watching him play.
What do you think? What's your prognosis from what you could see there, Jared, on O'Farrell?
Sorry, Hutto, I was looking at some matchups down the other end of the ground.
Well, they did appear to be working on his knee, I think, didn't they, Dougie? Or an ankle. There you go.
I think Aussie's pretty close to that one too, Hutto, down there.
It's a not lovely scar we can see on the knee.
Yeah, he's had a reconstruction before. I think when he was playing with the Swans.
Yep.
Yeah, it's their right knee they're looking at, and it was in that ruck contest against Ottens a few minutes ago.
So the players finding it hard to clear the outer wing. Now they can.
And a 50.
And a 50.
Yeah, and that's good umpiring, because players too often now have been allowed to get away with just giving the extra 20%. When somebody's on the ground, they come in and do the body slam, drop the knees, etc. And it's something the umpires, I reckon, should crack right down on. Have a look at this. He gets taken too high, and then look at this. Not a lot in it, but just making the point pretty early in the piece, I think, the umpire. And he's going to report him. No, he's sending him off with a blood rule.
As long as they're consistent on that, though, Jared. I mean, we saw even some again last night, which could have been played as 50 that weren't, and then there was one that was.
He's got a cut finger, I think, boys. Richie Vandenberg here. Can't see much blood on him.
think the umpire turned him around, which I think you thought he was going to be reported, Jared, but that's probably where the blood was.
Either that, Hutto, or there's something we've missed and we've got a send-off rule.
Well, you never know.
15 minutes off like junior footy, Jared.
So Wayne Campbell.
Bit of a bonus, this shot at goal.
Kicked 7 goals, 8 for the year. He guided it and guided it right on line. Tigers second. So they've recovered well.
Sorry, Hutto, I reckon he's having a great year, Wayne Campbell. There was a fair bit of controversy about the change of captain, but I reckon he's had a ripper year, Doug. He's started well again. He's obviously suffering if he had the flu during the week. But he's had 5 possessions, which is a very good start. And he'd be once again pushing himself into contention for All-Australian honours. But his main worry now is captaincy of the Tigers and getting them a spot in the finals.
Well, there's Vandenberg, boys, being looked at here. He's got the job tag on Wayne Campbell, so with him off the ground, obviously Wayne Campbell, they'll get someone on him, of course, but certainly can run free at this stage.
So the Tigers recovering after the Hawks opening goal. Ottens can get them moving again. Callaway paddling. Lots of numbers around the ball. Gasper, good clearing kick. It's free for Matty Knights. He can go for one of those winding runs instead. Goes for Burke. No spectacular mark there from Burke. It was a tight one-on-one battle. Ray Hall still has a chance. Burke just slipping over the moment. Eluded him, unfortunately, that time. They're working hard, though, the Tigers, to try and lock it in, that's for sure. Burke gets another chance and weaved his way through. The kick, though, was wide, bouncing just before the line.
Well, there's been some great grabs this year, and David Burke was one of them. There's Danny Frawley, coach of the Tigers in his 2nd year. And inside 50, the Tigers with 11, and the Hawks, who are just struggling at the moment, just been up there 4 times.
Yeah, they're struggling to clear the forward line of the Tigers, aren't they? Look at Campbell for his second. No, he sets it up. Richardson's got 2 to beat here. 2 of the best 2, Rawlings and Hay. And in the end, well, a sign of the pressure, Rawlings conceding the behind.
Well, you're dead right, Jared. You look at it, they've gone inside only 4 times, the Hawks, at this stage, and they've got some marking power down in their forward line. They've got Crow down there. Nick Holland starting to get back into a bit of form. He's missed a fair bit of footy this year. And Thompson now has gone back to full forward. So they certainly have got that marking power in their forward line.
Very dangerous kick in under the circumstances. Graham takes it. Oh, a chance here for Richardson. It just gets to Rawlings. Now, is that 50?
Has to be. Has to be.
No.
No?
I think the umpire just thought that there's a bit of acting involved there from Rawlings. Let's have a look.
I'll retract that.
Yep.
You're right, Jared. There's a bit of acting there.
Well, we saw very graphically a couple of weeks ago Jade Rawlings is prone to a little bit of acting. Made a lovely impression of Digby Morrell. That's dangerous. Oh, that's a good mark from Lekas. Up to centre half forward from behind. Good spoiling again by the Tigers. Chick releasing Crawford. Good release by hand. Crow, good kick. Well done. And Tallis on the end of it should be able to go back and kick a goal. No, he's going to pass it over
Jimmy
the top.
Hazel for his first kick today.
And he can run in and make sure of it. Oh, just. Tim Hazel in his first game for the Hawks.
Well, there's pretty unselfish play there from the Hawks initially. Good play from Trent Crow. Has been under a little bit of pressure over the last couple of weeks. He's playing at centre half forward. Just got to watch Darren Gasper at times, who's prepared to run down the ground and maybe be a goal-kicking option for the Richmond side. But no, good team football by the Hawks. Good goal to Hazel.
So 2-3 to 2 straight. Important goal, that one for the Hawks. And Tim Hazel joining that famous club of kicking a goal with his first kick in AFL footy. So congratulations to him. Here's Cameron out of the middle. Low pass into the pocket. Oh, Campbell just couldn't control it, but he gets another opportunity. Couldn't find his man. Cox and McCabe, the pressure was building on Hawthorn then. They should be able to get out of it. Well, it was good patience by McCabe, and eventually Joel Smith can guide them to half forward. Holland versus Holland. And Nick was overwhelmed. Vardy. Callaway and Hall pushing up the ground. Young short, controlling it through the wing. King, Callaway again.
Ottens is pushed forward.
Burke hits it hard and takes it. No! He thought it was going to be paid.
Stop.
The umpire is saying he didn't completely control it. And the Hawks through Crawford now can clean up. Pressure on Joel Smith here. Needed all his skills to elude the Richmond defender. Crowd into attack. Can hit the ground hard. And Rani had him away to his left. Went for Lord. Good strong mark. Much better effort than the earlier one for Aaron Lord. And he complains about the treatment he receives. But he can put the Hawks in front here, which has really been against the trend of play.
Been good work by Trent Crowe. Now started the game fairly slow. Here's Burks. He had a bit of it early, didn't he? I mean, she nearly paid that one.
I've got to say though, Hawk, that one with Burke, terrific umpiring. Sometimes umpires just think they're going to mark it and they don't, but he waited. That was not a mark. Great umpiring.
And I can see why Aussie got so many Brownlow votes over the years. Here's Lord's kick at goal. It's struggling to make it. Oh, now it has gone through.
Yeah, good to see a smile on the goal umpire's face.
So the first blemish for the Hawks, a rush behind. 2-3 plays 2-1. Well, in the last 5 weeks when they have been struggling, Hawthorn, their first quarters have generally been okay. Even last week against Brisbane when they got thrashed, they were in front at quarter time. Holland, that's Ben Holland, and that's a terrific strong mark. Had a good week last week, releasing Clinton King. Had to kick under a fair bit of pressure in the end, and out on the full. And again, Richo shows his displeasure.
He's looking a bit frustrated down there, Richo.
Adrian Cox finds Hazel. Low kick into the middle.
Trent Crowe's pushing up into the middle of the ground and just giving them an extra conduit to the forward line. He's such a good runner. I reckon it's a great move from the Hawks. Get a bit of extra power through the middle.
Hazel wasn't a really well-measured kick. It favoured the Ben variety rather than the Nick.
Yeah, boys,
through the middle. Look at Knights. He's got Bowden ahead of him. He's got Rogers pushing forward. He's going longer for Richo, surely. No, he didn't. It wasn't a bad kick in the end. Set it up for Ottens. Had a couple of pretty handy options in Ottens and Richo. When Ottens is on and he takes those marks high above the head, he looks great.
Yep, fantastic. What was smart about Ottens, he led into the side of Matthew Knights, not the other side. You saw Richo going across screen there. It's always the wrong place to lead. You've got to lead into the player's vision. Otherwise, he's got to kick the miraculous shot or pass across the body. And when the other option's there, he's going to take it every time.
Well, if Ray Hall can stand up in the ruck all day, then it does give them the luxury of having Ottens and Richardson in the forward line. And as we said, Hawthorn have got two quality defenders, so should make for a very entertaining afternoon. Brad Ottens right from 50. Just effortless, absolutely effortless. He's got so much ability. Great goal.
Well, I remember seeing Brad Ottens a few weeks ago down at Shell Stadium against the Cats. Up to half-time, I think he kicked 5 or 6 goals. He was their lone forward and just great touch. And here we are, we see the Levy had their forward line moving all over the place. The kick from Knight was an absolute ripper. And as you said before, Hutto, and Gerard's mentioned, your forward line is going to be one grabbers, and Ottens is that sort of type of player that will certainly do that. Good goal to Ottens.
That's the knee of Brett O'Farrell. So the Hawks with their problems.
And Ottens straight into the ruck.
So he's taking the centre bounces, I think, and then pushing forward. Well done by Thompson to win it and get them moving. That's a good mark, Callaway.
And Hutto Tigers have made a change off David Burke on Kane Pettifer.
Here's Ray Hall, the man who... No, it's going to come back. Oh, Nick Holland.
Again.
Was it the same one?
Yep. That's the one he did down in Tasmania that he had operated on. Let's have a look at it.
Same one, Gerard, the right one, is it?
That's the right one. And he had that arm up
taped
and extended, and that's the dislocating position, and he's re-dislocated that shoulder.
So real trouble here for Hawthorn.
She's falling apart, isn't it?
Two big men down.
Pettifer.
And Kane Pettifer, who has been outstanding in his opening 2 weeks of footy, kicked 3 goals last week, has taken another mark in front of goal. He's a terrific grab for a small forward.
Very highly skilled, Hutto and Gerard. I was talking to Danny Frawley a couple of weeks ago about this young fella. So he's got brilliant balance on both sides of the body. He's first class. And it's shocking to see a player of the calibre of Nick Holland go over like that once again.
Well, I think
Tragic.
what we saw was his shoulder just being put back in place. Pretty sure it was slightly dislocated there. Not a great kick
No,
from the young man, but he'll get another opportunity if he keeps attacking the ball as he is. But by golly, have things turned poorly for the Hawks?
No Barker up forward, who's been in outstanding touch. Here we are, we see the replay once again. Nick Holland, his brother Ben Holland, and Andrew Callaway. It was very simple, wasn't it, Jared? It wasn't a real...
Yeah, but when the arm is above your head and it pulled back slowly, that's the most damaging spot for it to be dislocated. And he's pushed against it hard, and the joint is obviously just not strong enough at the moment to handle even the most low force.
Excellent work from fullback. Crowe just hesitated for a moment, but in the end he went long to Lord. Tigers had some help back there for Leon Cameron, and Bowden able to run out to the boundary line and provide an option. And he does that well with Clinton King. Going to loop over to Pettifer. No, ignores him. Going to go longer instead. Richardson, the spoil from Hay. Wasn't a great delivery for him. Look at Pettifer. Rode the pack beautifully. Then he ran into trouble. He did slip a bit, copped it a little high, but probably good umpiring overall to let it go. And a ball up the result.
And Hutto, Nick Holland going up the race now with physio Barry Gavin. It's his right shoulder. It looks to me as though it's still out too, so in a fair bit of pain at the moment.
Shocking.
3-4, plays 2-1 at the MCG.
Richie's back on, and he's tagging Campbell again.
Richie being Vandenberg. Bowden's kick went nowhere. Hall goes in. Well done, Bowden. Got it out to Knight. The Tigers moving into attack again, a bit haphazard. There was touched off the boot. Well handled, though. Clinton King off the left. He's a good kick, as we saw before. Ross couldn't hang on to it. Getting plenty of harassment. No free kick. Joel Smith, the man, to charge out of defence and move it into attack. Streaming through the middle. He had Brett Johnson on. He waits and then releases Crawford. He tried to bounce it, and perhaps that wasn't the best idea, but there'll still be a chance. Into the square again. It's Cameron versus Lord, and the delivery wasn't ideal, and the ball sliding over the line and out of bounds from the Barlow kick.
What do you think of this one, Doug?
Well, no doubt the initial was over the shoulder. I don't know about in the back, Jared. Probably maybe over the shoulder there. Could have been a free kick there to Brad Ottens against Jade Rawlins on that occasion.
22 plays 13. Hawks would love to steal a goal right here and now. They need one because they're going to be undermanned as the afternoon wears on. It certainly was too high. Royce Vardy winning the free. Changed his number from 42 to 41 this year, Royce Vardy, in honour of Scotty Turner, who was one of his favourites at the club. Gasper goes looking for Bowden and Holland. And just handling the ball so well, the Tigers. Bowden waited, threaded the ball through with Ray Hall, put him under a fair bit of pressure, really. He didn't have an obvious option up further afield.
It was just overuse, and it started with Bowden, who just should have kicked the ball to position rather than floating through that middle.
And the Hawks might be able to capitalise. Crawford forced to go backwards because Richmond had 3 or 4 extra numbers inside 50, and you'll see them now. It'll be easy for Gasper. Was there any shepherding there? No, said the umpire. And really, that wasn't good play by Hawthorn. Gasper kicks it over Callaway's head. He can run. There is just space between he and half forward. Richardson's pushing forward, and he can kick to Richardson, but he doesn't instead. Went for Cameron. Good shepherding from Richardson too, to ensure that Cameron can weigh up the options. He probably should have gone long to the space. Instead, the kick was a bit of a mongrel off the boot, and the Hawks can clean it up. Hay dishing off. Rawlings usually excellent with his delivery, no exception. And so the Hawks can run through the middle. Hazel, Cox, kick very up and under, and it's too hard for the forwards to battle against the extra number. Holland getting it down.
Richo might get one here. He's been very frustrated in the last... No, he's going to miss out again.
Ray Hall. Richo demanding it all.
Poor kick from Ray.
Shocking kick from Ray Hall. Good tackling, though, from Tivendale to go in and hold up Tallis, who looked like he was going to stream through the pack.
What's happened here, Jared, at the moment, with O'Farrell off the ground, I thought Thompson would go in the ruck. Thompson's playing now back at full forward because Nick Holland's off. Trent Crowe, not a bad mood. I reckon Crowe's gone into the ruck at this stage.
Yep.
I think that high tackle count more of a reflection that Richmond are being first to the ball at this stage, and the Hawks being forced to tackle. Clinton King getting it through. Tivendale, Campbell, he waited. Well, the idea was right. Tivendale perhaps wasn't ready for it.
No, he just didn't know it was coming. His lack of experience, he should have been able to work out what Campbell was trying to do. And he just lost concentration there. He just dropped out of the play mentally.
So a handy little lead here on quarter time for Richmond, but it could have been more. They've had a fair bit of the footy, 49 kicks to 38.
Inside 50, Hutto. 17 to Richmond, 9 to Hawthorn, inside 50.
Delivery just let them down into attack in the last few minutes. It's a shocking handball. It would have been better if McCabe had been actually ready for it. He should be able to get out of it okay. McCabe, again, when he looks up, he can't see anything in terms of targets in attack. And we saw this time and time again last week. The Hawks have tried to move the ball quicker. They've moved it to about here quicker, but then they've found nothing but trouble. And it's happening again. Hazel backed himself to get through the maze. Barlow helped him out. Crow with a little kick. Knights might be able to get in the road of Cox. He couldn't. So Cox can get the legs moving here. He's kick smothered by Clinton King. Now what can Richmond do on the rebound? Knights. They're going to have to just control the ball through the midfield. It's 3-on-3 down forward. He can pump it in there long and back his own man. He does. Rogers couldn't take the mark. Joel Smith quick to recover. And he's got Vandenberg there. So that was the last hurrah for the Tigers. Siren sounding on a pretty interesting opening quarter. Richmond dominating in the field, but they only lead 3-4 to 2-1. The bad news for Hawthorn, though, is that those injuries to O'Farrell and Holland are going to be costly as the afternoon wears on.
You just wonder where the Hawks are going to get their goals at this stage, as Hutto just mentioned. Nick Holland off the ground. Johnny Barker, late withdrawal from the side. Nathan Thompson's got to be that man to step up and be a goal kicker for the Hawks.
And that board will be getting a bit of work by Peter Swab at quarter time. 3-4-22 to 2-1-13 at the MCG. Very interesting opening quarter at the MCG. As much for the injury toll on the Hawks as for the scoreline. Richmond had a lot more of the footy. 3-4-22, leading Hawthorn 2-1-13. And speaking of that injury toll, Nick Holland. This is how he did his shoulder again. It looks so simple. Unfortunately, that is the result of it. And we saw him go up to the rooms and then trudge across the oval. Let's find out some more on it from Gary Buckenara with Aussie.
Yeah, Bucky, we just seen Nick Holland's right arm in a sling. Obviously, he won't be back on today. How are you going to cover that loss?
Oh, look, it's a big loss for us. He hadn't had much luck, unfortunately. He's dislocated his other shoulder, so, yeah, it just upsets our balance, but hopefully we can cover it. We've just got to get the ball in. You know, the conditions really don't suit chipping the ball around. We've just got to be smart, get the ball forward, and hopefully we can create something.
What were your thoughts on the movement into the forward line? At times, Richmond just dropped a man back and it was a little bit clogged.
Yeah, look, we tried to play an extra midfielder. They were dropping back on us, so we just have to address that at quarter time, try and be a little bit more predictable with player on player and get the ball in, see if we can create something.
Thanks, Bucky.
Okay.
So Gary Buckenara with Richard Osborne there, and as he said, it's the other shoulder, so he's evened up his injuries there.
I thought it was his right shoulder he did down in Tasmania. He's obviously got the left one strapped, but nevertheless, he's had a shocker there, and let's just hope it's one that he can treat conservatively, doesn't need an operation, because I think if he had an operation now, his season would be over.
So it means with O'Farrell also in injury trouble, there's a lot on the shoulders of a big man like Nathan Thompson. He's in the ruck at the moment as we start the second quarter from the MCG. Ottens against Thompson, and Ottens guiding it to himself. Well done by the big man, except the final delivery wasn't exactly as he would have liked, and it's the Hawks able to go forward. Leckis pumped it long to full forward. Lord waits down. It didn't quite get through to him. He was hanging on. Free kick goes to Zilla. Oh, dangerous kick from Zilla, but it's okay. Chaffee, who hasn't had a lot of the footy so far, is a pretty high possession winner usually for Richmond. Gaspar, who's seen pushed well up the ground today, covering the territory with Trent Crowe.
And Richo's deep in the square. He was just getting lost in that half-forward line. So they've pushed him right back deep into the goal square and see if he can get a crack at it from there.
Kane Pettifer.
Well, somebody's
Player down.
Play the Tigers. So Leon Katnach, the captain.
Campbell, yeah.
Campbell.
Ottens has got the mark anyway. Goes for Richardson. Can he? No, he doesn't go. Clinton King as it hits the ground. Crawford. Cox in support. Rogers. Good hands in the end. And Joel Smith, who's probably been one of their best players so far, coming up for his 7th possession. Off the left, it was a bit wobbly and well read by Richardson. He judged that really well. It wasn't a good kick from Joel Smith. Richardson sets it up. Oh,
he's got him.
Oh, he's got him. He has got him. It dropped into Bowden. Centimetre perfect.
Well, let's just say there's a little bit of luck for Richo. The kick from Joel Smith, as you said, Hutto's been very good of a half-back flank for the Hawks. Not only today, but all year he's been outstanding. But his kick was turned over to Richo's got a bit of a smile on his face, saying, "Well, I found it, teammate." And there won't be a finger this time, I don't think.
No. Unless he tells Joel the direction to kick it. So Joel Bowden try and start capitalising on the dominance of the Tigers so far. Important kick for them from that point of view.
Shocker.
And there might be one finger up from the goal umpire. There it is. 3-5 plays 2-1.
There you go. Farrell's back on the ground here, Jared. He's gone to full forward, been picked up by Royce Barty. That allows now Trent Crowe to go back to centre-half forward with Nathan Thompson in the ruck.
Haven't had much ball down there. Can't remember Ben Dixon getting too much of it. Just had a couple of kicks. Right now, how do you get the feeling there's an air of inevitability about a Richmond victory, but I mean, they're not playing great footy either.
No, they're not. The Hawks need some spark, though, don't they? And some avenue into attack. McCabe, again, he delayed the kick and he pinpointed Crawford through the middle, around the body. He knew he had man on over the top. It was Thompson from 50. Thompson goes for home. Over Dixon can come over the pack and take a strong mark. And that's the sort of authority that they needed to show up forward. It just now depends on whether he can convert this into a goal, because he's on his wrong side.
Well, they've had very little opportunity to make a statement or have an impact at the Hawks forwards, because the ball simply just hasn't been down there often enough and hasn't come down with the urgency of a side that is dominating the game. So let's see if he can thread through a check side.
Yes, he can. It's a 4-point ball game at the G.
Well, initially it was good vision there from the skipper of the Hawks, Shane Crawford. Just hit that ball over his shoulder. See, McCabe had to find Crawford. The kick was a little bit risky, but did find its target. And Crawford with good vision to find Nathan Thompson. As I mentioned a minute ago, he's gone into the ruck. And this is what Dixon has to do now with Parker out of the side and Holland off the ground. Got to take some marks up in the forward line.
So it's under a goal, despite Richmond's 8 scoring shots. They only lead by 4 points. This is exactly what you were talking about. Otten's winning the tap, but not conclusively. Thompson it was that gets the release. Good work from Hazel to feed it back. Crowe's kick. Oh, they were looking at each other. Well done by Dixon. He came through and wanted the footy. Right, Thompson again with a bit of momentum up. Could really make it shake here. Into the square. Lord from behind. Zilla was strong with the spoil. Tawney. Lord gets his chance. Just couldn't get it under the boot. Tawney. Cool under pressure. Bowden. And now they're out of trouble. Gaspar goes out wide. Cox has got to work hard here. Got a fingernail to it, but King can escape and accelerate into attack. Oh, he tried to have a bounce. It was silly, but the technique wasn't good, one or the other. And the Hawks might get a free out of this. Yes. Tucked it under.
And Hutto, you picked it right with Clinton King. If you're going to bounce the ball on a day where there's been a bit of rain, you've got to slam it into the ground hard.
He had a good first quarter, Clinton King. He had 9 touches. Actually, probably his first blue so far.
Rawlings getting it moving. McCabe. Oh, he's gone. Oh.
Well, he wasn't tackled. He had him chopped up, but he didn't stop him in his tracks.
Crawford can pick out Lekas, and the Hawks will be in front if he kicks accurately here. I think the ball slipped out of his hands rather than actually being tackled, and that's why the umpire didn't pay it as holding the ball. We'll get a better look at it here. No, we won't. We'll come back to it.
Good kick there from Crawford once again. Their move forward has been Shane Crawford with good vision. Lekas has worked very hard so far in this game. He's had 6 touches and 4 marks. To kick a goal, just top off his game so far.
Angelo Lekas guides it beautifully. All of a sudden, Hawthorn are in front.
Oh, well, it's pretty hard to read at the moment. Hawks look as if they were just going through the motions. I think the move Doug and Holland of Thompson into the ruck has given them an extra spark. And a couple of their players have just lifted slightly. Crawford's getting some footy. And Angelo coming up for his... saw him 2 weeks ago against the Kangaroos. He's very good. Today he's doing pretty well as well.
Lekas, one of the stars of the day and of recent weeks for the Hawks. 7 possessions and now a goal. And suddenly, things are a little brighter here for the Hawks as their captain gets them first use. Gasper with Dixon bearing down. He had a long run up Dixon then to come and put the pressure on Harford. So just the little signs are getting better for the Hawks at this stage. The pressure starting to build. Dixon throwing the body in wildly. He's going to be penalised for it. Interesting decision, because although it was quite wild what he did, I'm not sure anything other than get him in the side. Tawney can get them moving. This is Ben Holland. To centre half forward. Clinton King's going to have to come over the top of Rawlings. He couldn't do that. And Jade Rawlings has been excellent again today. Comes in for possession number 8. 5 marks in these slightly slippery conditions, so it's been a good performance already.
O'Farrell coming off again, boys, for the Hawks. Barlow on.
Just doesn't look right, O'Farrell, Aussie.
Yeah, it's his right knee. I was watching him earlier on the boundary line. He's limping fairly heavily.
Rawlings this time uses Barlow on the way out. And he's got some space to size up the best option, and Daniel Chick is his choice.
Great kick.
Graham has not had a man for some 10 minutes. He's just cruising around by himself.
Dixon calling for it down in the opposite pocket, telling him just to put it up and I'll come over the top and take the mark. Now he makes a lead, Dixon. Thompson's there as well. Chick just not sure. He makes pretty good contact. This goes all the way to the line. In the end, I don't think he could decide whether to have a shot or set it up, and he did it neither. Or neither. Neither.
I think it's neither or. Don't ask me. No, please.
going to Dougie for grammar.
We are in big trouble, that's the case. Crawford's been good. I mean, last week against Brisbane, he had a fair bit of footy without really hurting you. But today, so far, he's had the 10 touches, but he's used the ball beautifully. Back to you, Hutto.
Thank you very much, Dougie. Over the shoulder. Free kick. I don't know if it was hurting you there or not, but certainly it was too high. Campbell using Cameron. Off half back. Otten's in front. Had to come a long way down the ground. Spectacular stuff by Graham. Didn't take the footy with him. Knights. It was a terrific tackle from Tallis. Could have been rewarded. Cox off the left boot. Had Lekas inboard. Had Vandenberg. Vandenberg through centre half forward. Went for Chick. Thompson stood tall. Takes the mark. Could get the handball off. He does into the space. Barlow's got time. Oh, he went backwards. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do. They did control the footy, but he had a look the other way. There was options as well. Dixon, Tawney made the spoil and got to the line. Tigers under a whole heap of pressure here. The ball out of bounds.
Don't the intensity of the Tigers. Is it 100% at the moment?
I don't reckon it is, Jared. They seem to have some flat patches over that last couple of weeks, even though they've been winning, you know, games very, very well. They're just stages in the game where they just drop away. It looks like young Pettifer now having a bit of a spell here for Richmond. Paul Broderick on for his first run.
Barlow did the ruck work there for Hawthorn, such as the fact that they're stretched at the moment in terms of ruck duty. They wanted to have Thompson down in the square. So 3-point lead at the moment for the Hawks. And another reminder about our website, i7sport.com.au. 10 minutes have gone so far in a pretty interesting second quarter. Hawthorn have hit back from behind to take the lead. Almost at the halfway stage of this second term. Certainly they've had a lot more of the footy, the Hawks, than the Tigers.
Many of the Richmond players haven't had a touch in this quarter. Knights hasn't. Burke, Tivendale. Paul Broderick's just come onto the ground.
Rogers, Jared.
Chaffee's had one handball. Most of the Tigers have had one or
there's
less
only
possessions.
been Tawney, Bowden and Gasper.
They've had more than one possession.
More than one possession. That is amazing in 10 minutes of footy. Leon Cameron coming up for his second touch of the quarter, and it's a kick. Bowden, well, just couldn't get there to take the mark. Broderick on the ground, it's kicked away. Hawks defence standing up really well across half-back at the moment.
They're just having a better go at the moment, the Hawks, and they've got themselves back into the game.
Cox kicked it high. Wasn't great delivery. Hazel couldn't get a handle on it.
It's been Cox. Cox has been pretty good half-back flank, Adrian Cox. He's had probably 8 touches now, 8 kicks so far. Hasn't had a handball yet, but it's been him and Smith run up that back line. Tallis down there's been okay. Rawlings has done his job at fullback, and Hayes did a pretty reasonable job so far, Richo.
We haven't seen Nick Daffy yet. Maybe he'll come on shortly. Broderick in game number 251.
Great kick.
It was terrific delivery, wasn't it, for Rogers?
No substitute for class, and Broderick's got plenty of that.
And, the kick's going to drop short, so the delivery for Richo was no good. Hay able to feed it off. Wide kick from Rawlings. Good spoil. Clinton King on Harford.
who's struggling. Just can't get near the footy at the moment, Daniel Hawthorn.
Well done by Rogers. Knights went around the corner for Clinton King. Clever kick. Hartford just 2 possessions so far. Both have been handballs.
Knights coming from the ground for Nick Daffy. He called that one Doug, and Daffy straight onto the ground.
Good kick from Clinton King, and Ottens takes the mark. So an important goal, this one for the Tigers, you would think.
Well, Clinton King, Doug, I think you called that. He's the key man for the Tigers. He's getting a bundle of touches, and he's keeping Daniel Hartford almost to no touches. He had just 2 handballs, and one of them there was just a little grubber, and he's setting him up in the forward line.
Does use the ball very well, Jared. Clinton King. He had 9 touches in that first quarter. That was probably, he made that mistake a bit early on that wing in that second term, but he does use the ball very well. That kick there to Ottens was an absolute ripper.
It's unbelievable. He's had 3 clubs already, Clinton.
Yeah, no young fella.
Brad Ottens kicked an early goal. Now he's got 2.
Beautiful kick.
He's a bit like when you play golf and then you go out and you watch one of the pros play, and just the ease that they do the shot with.
Yes, he doesn't. He's a bit like Bernie Quinlan. It's just all timing. Doesn't try and force it. This kid, he's built like a bit of 8-gauge wire, I think Sandy Roberts says. There's not a lot of him, but he's a good worker, got great endurance. Kid from Port Melbourne here in Melbourne. He's been to the Swans, went to the Pies, and finally he's become a successful Tiger.
So the Hawks obviously aware of Hartford struggling as well. Brett Johnson back on the ground, and I just reckon he's a player who always plays well whenever I see Hawthorn play, but he found himself out of the team last week, so maybe they've got a different opinion, I'm not sure. Clinton King working it back off the left boot. Callaway working hard. Richardson again a long way from home with Ottens back in the square. Suddenly the Tigers looking a bit better. Tivendale. I think the kick might have just been touched on the way through to Rogers and didn't quite have the impact they would have liked.
I think, Hutto, the opinion of Brett Johnson at Hawthorn, they think he may be a little bit slow, but the fact is he keeps getting the footy. I'm with you. I think I've seen Hawthorn a few times this year, and he's come on the ground and worked very well. There's Mickey Malthouse and Dean Laidley and Neil Baum, obviously watching this game.
Daffy to make an impact. Sets it up the square. Rawlings, no interference. And it's over and out. We saw Lord and Zilla most of the time at the other end of the ground.
Just there, it was great use of the body by Rawlings. He just pushed Ottens out of the play, and Bradle, as he gets more experience, he'll know that that's coming, and he'll be able to hold his ground more effectively.
Roderick, Tivendale, just wasn't sure whether he had the room.
Ball.
Gone.
Ball. Fire opportunity?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Crawford through the middle. Crowd, he's loose, and just pumps it long for Daniel Chick. It's an open forward line for the Hawks. Richmond now get an extra man back to try and help. Gaspar, he's in the back already, or holding on. And it goes to Royce Fardy, who's done his job so far this afternoon. Working it out wide. This is Callaway. The Tigers the last 5 minutes a little more positive. Richardson couldn't get there, but he did enough to get the spoil and
did well.
Keep the ball alive. Cameron whipping through. Clinton King mobbed by the Hawks that time. Cameron again sets it up. Ottens with the run. The umpire got to get out of the road. Bit of a battle there between Rogers and Joel Smith. And Rogers sees it over. Let's have another look at this Crawford tackle on Tivendale.
He had a chance to get rid of that. He sidestepped Jared. I know he went one way. He went to the left. The handball could have been to someone.
Couldn't have kicked it though, could he? He would have had to do an instant handball.
Yeah, it could have been a handball, I thought. But he's had 5 tackles now, Crawford. He's led from the front, hasn't he?
Graham gets the clearing kick. It's pretty rough and rugged out there at the moment. McCabe. He really spotted up Thompson well, but see Clinton King was bearing down.
Chance here.
Again, pretty open. Plenty of Hawks going past Daniel Chick. Couldn't get the handball off. Maybe he doesn't need to. Can crank up a long shot. It is swinging back, and it goes all the way. So the Hawks are back in front. Try working out what's going on in this game.
It's just an arm wrestle, no doubt about that. And I just thought here he may have, sometimes when players come out to meet the ball being a forward, Thompson, as Jared said before, has gone in the ruck and been very good for all. I thought he may have going to tap the ball down here to Johnson, but he decided to grab the ball, had that bounce, took him on. That's a terrific kick from Chick, no doubt about that. He's a very important player in their forward line.
5-2 to 4-5. A bit more like what we saw earlier in the year from the Hawks, in that the transition left a more open forward line, but it was more direct. Cox getting them going again. Out wide for Dixon. He trapped it nicely. Really well done. And a pumping kick from Hazel. Chick standing underneath Holland. Mark it.
Good numbers back then, the Tigers.
Oh, great tackle.
Very vigorous, but the umpire said it was too high. Daniel Chick didn't think so, clearly.
He's doing a good job down there, though, Chick. He's giving them a target. He's not a high-marking player, but he's getting the ball at ground level. And he's putting some physical presence into their play.
Nick Daffy goes for Bowden. Oh, he spilt the grab. So Daffy in support if he needs him. He can loop over a little short pass. Looking for Ray Hall. Oh, he had to be sure with the ball handling. Daffy had some time. Left foot kick. Well, it wasn't bad for the space. Richardson just...
knock it out.
He did dive on it. There's no doubt about that. And in a way, he's a bit lucky.
You're right about Chick, Jerry. He's been very good down their forward line. The job's been given to Andrew Callaway. It appears now maybe even Gasper's gone back to Daniel Chick.
A bit more pace.
Tigers trying to work out their defensive matchups. Meantime, Bowden doing some extra ruck work. And another bounce. No, not required. Crowd getting it moving again for them. Barlow, Callaway. Oh, was that a handball? It was. Johnson off the left. Good delivery.
Great kick.
Dixon takes the mark.
They're building the Hawks. They're looking dangerous. Danny just cannot believe it.
Hawks going into the game without Sean Wren and also John Barker, who are two late withdrawals. And again, Brett Johnson showing that he can kick the footy, Doug.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Hutto. It was a nicely weighted kick here. It's easy. Looks like Barlow having a spell now, half it back on for the Hawks.
I reckon Campbell's got to come up onto the ball as well. They're just lacking a bit of presence in the middle at the moment, the Tigers.
So Ben Dixon, important kick. It's swinging back nicely, and it just sneaks in. 2 goals for Ben Dixon, and suddenly that handy little lead that the Tigers had, now the Hawks have got it.
Just been more impressive through the middle of the ground in the last 10 minutes. The Hawks have they've gone up a notch, and the Tigers, well, they don't want to work hard in these games where even if they've won their last 4, they've still got to work hard, and if they can't sustain it, sides that are hungrier than them will snatch away the 4 points. Knights to come back onto the ground.
Matthew Knights, who saw him go off about 6 or 7 minutes ago, looks like he's ready to come back. Trent Croad's had a bit of it too, hasn't he? 10 kicks for the day and 4 marks, so he's returning to some form, which is promising news for the Hawks. And this man, Crawford, has certainly led, as Dougie said, from the front. Cox going out wide. Was that in the back? It certainly looked like it was. Free kick against Ben Holland. Gone to Nathan Thompson, who's also worked pretty hard. 8 possessions and 3 marks. Lord makes a lead. Goes into the pocket looking for Dixon. Oh, that's a courageous
Great
mark.
effort.
Andrew Callaway. Not a great deal on offer for him at this stage. No one able to switch play. Now he has got someone he can go to in Daffy. He tricked them all. Went for Tivendale instead. Through centre half back. A bit of space. Tivendale likes to find it. There's not much next on offer for him though. Going to have to be a long, long kick if he's going to make it right through the lines. Broderick, good spoil from Tallis, and the Tigers are just breaking down across half forward at the moment.
Well, they've got Campbell down there in the forward line. They're trying to expose Vandenberg's lack of height. I'm sure they want to see Campbell as a player that could take a mark. Looks like he's going to do the ruck at the moment.
Crode coming in to contest with him. Won the tap, but Broderick sharked it beautifully. Bowden, one of those standing kicks, and it had accuracy.
Better lead from Richo that time. He wrong-footed his opponent, and the kick was a beauty.
Knights.
He spotted Matty Knights, who came off the bench. Well done, Matthew Knights, but well done, Matthew Richardson. It's one thing to be able to spot a lead 50 metres away. It's a whole other thing to be able to hit them.
And, Hutto, there's one other person you've got to give credit to there. Royce Vardy, he's the man that went off for Matty Knight's coming on. He absolutely sprinted off the ground. So if he was to jog off, Matty Knights wouldn't have got into that position so quick. So well done. Good discipline, Royce Vardy.
That's what you call the half percenters, isn't it, Ozzy, I guess?
The coach would be pretty happy with that.
What did you do well today, son? Oh, I ran off the bench to the bench very well.
Quick as I could.
Yep. Well done. Matty Knights.
You're right, Ozzy, bud.
Just tell you what. Jade Rawlings off the ground. Big move here from the Hawks, but this is a pretty important goal for the Tigers.
Just waiting for the all clear because there's a bit of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, I think we
Watch him go here.
He's got it.
Look at him. Oh, yeah.
It's a goal.
You idiot, Hutto. Tell you what, Rich will be pleased with this. This is a great kick. And Matthew Knights would be even more delighted.
He would.
He has led for that from the bench.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you're dead right, Ozzy, about that. Last week I was a boundary rider for that game, Richmond game, and I saw David Burke flew off the ground, so I've been told to go off the ground very quickly.
So the Tigers hitting back, but they needed to. Hawthorn had all the momentum in the quarter. 3 points to margin now, so we're in for a great struggle through the rest of the afternoon. Tallis, Ottens getting it out, getting them moving again. Thompson, though, charging, emerges with the ball within range. I don't know if he really quite got hold of it. He did! He did get hold of it. What an answer from Thompson, inspirational. Kicked it very high, and I wasn't sure if it quite had the distance to carry. So how many times has the ruckman kicked the goal coming out of the middle? Not too many.
Good hands, Crode, having a very good day, coming back to some real good form. And Thompson, they're an exciting couple. Good double through the middle, both tall, both can run. And that's a big goal.
Centre clearances this quarter. Hawthorn 6, Richmond only 1. Jerry just spot on before. Wayne Campbell had 8 touches in that first quarter. He's only had 1 so far in his second quarter. There's the dark sky here above us. Looks like a bit of rain coming our way.
7-2 to 5-5. Well, the sun is still out, but it is very black away behind the southern stand. Ottens won the tap, but again the Hawks able to, well, maybe able to get the ball out of the middle. Johnson swamped, so I need a secondary ball up. Important last 3 minutes then of this second quarter.
They're not dominating like they should be, the Richmond Rucks. I mean, Brad Ottens has flown and missed the ball a few times. They should have a huge advantage here, and Trent Crowe just doing a darn good job nullifying.
Ottens trying to get the handball away to a man. Oh, he had the one arm of Knights, who was a little lucky to get away with that, really, in some ways. Crowe kicking it forward, but the Tigers, oh, they had the time then. Chappie, a lack of talk or decision-making process, and the Hawks might get a scoring chance out of it. Still, they might get a chance. Richard Vandenberg, he handball, but his man wasn't looking, Aaron Lord. Good pressure, Zilla, well tackled by Harford. Clever little hands from Knights, but he couldn't get Campbell. Campbell dived on it. Hawks appeal, ball up.
I reckon Danny Frawley would be justified in just questioning how much the Tigers wanted at the moment, because Hawks clearly do. They're desperate in there. They're going a fair bit harder for the footy. And I reckon whilst the Tigers look to have just a slight advantage in talent, they're not playing anywhere near at that level.
It was a good tap from Ottens. Callaway just lost the footing, which cruelled him a bit. Campbell's dived on it again, but he's got a high tackle.
And Jared, tactics aside that'll be discussed at half-time, I'm pretty sure that would be the majority of Danny Frawley's half-time address.
Chick with some acrobatics, but Knights escaped on the left foot. No one was watching his left foot. And it's a great kick. He returns the favour, but Richardson couldn't take it. And the numbers with the Hawks, and they'll get out of it. Now, that is very, very deliberate, but it's allowed under the current interpretations.
And Hutto, well done, Jonathan A. He was in a very difficult spot there, but it looks like he's actually hurt himself.
You just see Matty Richardson getting his hands to the ball. You've touched him a couple of times, Drew, particularly in that first quarter. You just got to take those grabs. I know Hay put a bit of pressure on him, but that's Richo's job to take those one grabbers.
Are you comfortable with that not being paid deliberate, Jared?
Well, I thought it was a free kick. I mean, it's been straight to the boundary. I mean, no indication would go anywhere else.
Thanks, Jared. Crawford, handball intercepted. Knights, brilliant stuff. Pettifar.
Missed.
He has off the left. That's 2 he's missed today. Would have been very, very handy. (7-2 to 5-6). Last minute and a half of this opening term. Joel Smith.
Matty Campbell coming off, boys, with
Say again, Ozzy. Your microphone sounded like it was dying, but looks like Wayne Campbell coming from the ground with a blood finger.
I think Ozzy's microphone might have to come off the ground too. 7-2 to 5-6. Joel Smith, his day today, 7 possessions. And make it 8 now if that counts when you kick it to yourself. Out wide, gee, tough one for Tallis. A lot of Tigers around him. And Bowden ensures that the ball's out of bounds to give the Tigers a chance as we get close to half-time. Be disappointed, Wayne Campbell. And just in terms of the way the Hawks have come back in this second quarter. Clearing kick from Leckers. So it's pretty open up there. Plenty of one-on-one contests. Callaway. Holland over the top. Try and hem in Harford. Well battled by Holland. And now they might be able to do something positive here, the Tigers. Chaffee sets it up for Richardson. Just called Mills out of it at the last minute. Richo might pump long. No, he didn't. He could have gone to Burke. Instead, he goes to Mills, who has to use it well here. He saw a couple of Tigers, one of them Bowden, and Bowden can mark.
Jeez, that was a great mark. We'll have another look at this. He just takes it in his hands down low as if it was a slips catch. A smart play by Richo here, and the young bloke Mills, he did well just to assess the situation. It was a mongrel kick, and that ball was going sideways, and he took it so cleanly. It was one of those mongrel floaters, Doug, that are very difficult to take control of.
They certainly are, Jared, and good vision there by Matty Richards to find Andrew Mills had in his first kick, and he spent a fair bit of time on the bench, young Mills.
Bowden with 15 goals, 11 for the year coming into today. He's kicked 1 behind, and now he's got a goal to add to it. Yes, right on the siren. Joel Bowden kicks the goal that ensures there's less than a goal between it. The Hawks not happy. Mark Graham with the decision of the goal umpire. Let's hope we get another chance to have a look at it, because it did look very close off the boot. But the goal counts, and it's Richmond 6-6 42 to 7-2 44. Let's have another look. Well, it's one of those ones where it's over the post, so it's purely a judgment thing, isn't it? Up high over the goal post in height, so it's a tough one. 6-6 42 Richmond. Danny Frawley and his team with a bit of work to do. The Hawks in front by 2 points after an excellent second quarter at the MCG. From the MCG, Saturday afternoon footy on 7, and Knights getting the ball forward, getting the Tigers forward for the first time in the half. Clinton King well wrapped up, and Angelo Leckis doing the wrapping. Clinton King, we mentioned in the first half, impressive with 12 possessions and a couple of marks. Leckis standing by Cameron as Holland does well and gives them a real opportunity. Rogers, good spoil though from Joel Smith, but he cleared the path for Rogers for Burke. Broderick from the standing start sets it up perfectly for Richardson. Hay buffeted him, and in the end Richardson couldn't hold the mark, and Rawlings cleaning up with the help of Tallis, and he gets clear, hemmed in against the boundary line, but he kept on running. Tallis to receive it again and drive to the wing. So promising move by the Hawks.
Push out
in the back, free kick.
It's a couple of times they've given away the same free kick to Tigers. It's just basically undisciplined play. You put your hands in the back of a bloke like that, you're going to get bumped off.
Barlow went for Crode, couldn't get it, but Chick, maybe he can. Had to go back a long way to clear the path, but eventually he did that. Vandenberg, Cox, got through Adrian Cox, and got plenty on it. Great effort, and it's got there. forced his way into this Hawthorn lineup through consistent performances in the Box Hill Hawks. And he's kicked a very important goal.
Well, no doubt this is the start the Hawks wanted in this third quarter. Cox has been terrific coming off a half-back flank. Adrian Cox, he's had now 11 kicks for the 3 marks and has kicked a goal.
Wayne Jackson with Ian Dicker. Watching on.
The umpire deciding to throw the ball up in the middle of the ground and all around the ground.
Campbell has a second crack, and that's better. Joel Bowden, one of the important playmakers for the Tigers. Speaking of playmakers, Richardson led to the footy that time by Hay, who just a little bit more superior with the judgment on that occasion. Rawlings, without an opponent at the moment, and it shows. You could just see the concentration on the face as he prepared himself to kick that. Oh, Thompson was almost caught, but he got it away nicely. And
That's
was that a mark? Not pay.
Oh, had to be if they paid their one to the Tigers at the other end.
Well, it might really hurt them on the rebound. Pettifer needs to be accurate. Richardson in front. It's too much on it, though. Hay doubling back. Done an excellent job. Paddled it cleverly through his legs to the boundary line. And he's winning that battle.
Just a bit one-dimensional, I reckon. The Tigers, Richo isn't marking the ball. And that was that attempted mark. Did he have control, Doug?
He had the ball for the wall there, Jared. Maybe in these conditions, as we know quite well, it is starting to rain. Maybe in these conditions you pay that grab.
Otten's doing the ruck work. Crowd. Otten's conclusively released the handball well. Tivendale never looked confident, did he?
Just a full stretch then, Hutto. He certainly had to try and screw that ball over his shoulder. Nathan Thompson, that second quarter, had 7 possessions. Took the ball 5 times inside 50 in the second quarter.
Could have been a suicidal kick in. Lekas.
Oh, please.
It was a poor handball as well. Vandenberg gone. Somehow he wasn't tackled conclusively enough for Richmond to win the ball.
But they're not making the most of their opportunities here. The Tigers, the Hawks have got away again.
Graham down for Dixon, no mark. Oh, beautifully handled by Daniel Chick. Deserved a goal and got one. What a start to the quarter. Goals to Cox and Chick. And the Hawks have come out in fine fashion, 9-2 to 6-7.
Well, we said this about a quarter ago that the Hawks just look hungrier. The Tigers are, you know, they're hanging in there. They're doing things reasonably well, but they're not hungry, Doug. They're not getting the neutral ball. Hutto.
Yeah, Burgoff boys and Daffy back on the ground. We said it, Jared, at the start of this quarter that the Hawthorn looked like they're attacking the footy's been terrific. Fantastic.
So the Tigers making some renovations already. They might need to make some more. Holland over the top, paddling towards the line. Knights, free kick.
Callaway. Big chance here for Daffy. He's been up and down all season. He's got an opportunity in the second half to make an impact. 12
possessions for Callaway. Ben Holland just measured the kick and got it. Oh, Otten's just slipped through, and that is
symptomatic.
Yep, of the way the Tigers are going at the moment. Brett O'Farrell, you can count as injured as well on that list. Hawthorn 9-2, Richmond 6-7. The Hawks coming into the ground game without Barker and Wren. They've lost Holland and O'Farrell, so they're doing a great job. They're playing with plenty of spirit at the moment. Chaffee for the Tigers, trying to get them pumped, trying to get them moving. Chaffee to Daffy, a long one. No, there's no sign of Lappy. Good work from Rawlings, is in front and takes the relieving mark. I think Lappy was on one of those reality TV shows this year. Meantime, more important action. Crawford from half-back. Hawks turning defence quickly into attack, but Richmond have got the numbers back to fill the spaces in front of the leading players. That leading player with Dixon was always going to find it tough under those circumstances. Knights with time on his side and space. Tawney looks ahead. A lot of Hawthorn players ahead, so he had to go short. Crode was coming straight at Vardy, but he went past him. Vardy needs to spot up a man at centre-half forward. Again with ease, ripped it out of the air, kicked it quickly. Bowden can mark, he can turn on his left here.
I reckon Bowden, the full forward, would be a fairly appropriate move, Doug, because the Richo-Hay matchup is just not working for the Tigers. He's got him covered at the moment.
There's no doubt about that, Jared, and we saw Joel Bowden was in great form last week against St Kilda. I think he kicked 5 goals too as a midfield player. We know quite well, one-on-one, he's very hard to stop Joel Bowden. Good play by Royce Barty. Been very good at full-back today, once again.
So he kicked that goal right on half-time, which was argued again by Mark Graham. This is even more important, this kick, and he's kicked it so well. They're not going to die yet, the Tigers.
But they're just hanging in there. They've had plenty of opportunities up forward, but they just haven't been able to convert. They need a bit more of this business. Blokes going up in the air, taking grabs, giving some results for the midfield work.
It's good play once again, as I said there, Jared, from Royce Barty coming out their back line to set that up.
Excellent.
And a good mark from Watkins.
So Richmond 7-7-49. Hawks 9-2. What a great tap out of the middle. Harford gets them going again. One more Tiger than Hawk, but the fumble. No mark to Callaway, and that gives the Hawks a chance to score. Well trapped Barlow. Beautifully tapped the kick just across the face. And it bounced importantly before it went out of bounds.
Let's just have a look at this centre bounce. Brad Otten's getting under the ball this time. And a magnificent tap there by Nathan Thompson.
7 points the difference. 8 minutes gone in the third quarter. Third playing fourth here this afternoon. Hawks have won 1 out of the last 5. They'd dearly love to win today. Chappie's clearing kick, good one because Tivendar got rid of Tallis. Oh, he went to the line deliberately. Yes, and he's pinged.
That is a nonsense. He fell over, didn't he?
He did go to the solace of the line when he, as soon as he felt himself slipping. Lekis popped it up. No mark. And again, the Tigers had the numbers at ground level. Chappie, now all of a sudden the Hawks were starting to come at him, and they appeal again for deliberate. There's no way that one could be paid.
Let's have a look at this. I reckon Tivendar was just falling over. Where was he going to put the ball?
Jeez, he's unlucky. Jeez, he's unlucky there.
And you just hope that an umpire can read the play a little bit better than that. He should have been dragged for fumbling. That'd be the worst case scenario, but
Dixon,
no free kick.
Heavy body work. And umpire let it go, and then eventually there was high contact. So a bit of vigour from Shane Crawford, who wasn't all that impressed with the decision.
It might be a fair line for the Brownlow this year, Wayne Campbell. He's had half a dozen free kicks today, or about 3 or 4 anyway.
Richardson again, just couldn't take the mark. He is struggling today. Dixon the fumble, Campbell free kick.
Another one.
That was just stupid by Ben Dixon.
Yeah, he's got him in all right. Body slam.
Put the head in the ground.
Bowden. A penetrating kick. David Burke from behind. Ottenson in front. Well rode by Broderick. Got it down in towards the goal square. Towards the line. Graham couldn't get there before it went over and out.
I just like the move that Danny Frawley's made now. He's got Ottens at full forward, being picked up by Rawlings. I'd like to see Richo up the ground and can move around the place, because Jonathan Hay at the moment certainly has the better in that contest. Even though Hayes only had the 1 kick, as a defender who's done his job. He's cut Richo not totally out of the game, but has quieted him down a fair bit.
Alton's clever tap. Broderick just couldn't get clear. It's great tackling by Cox. Still it's alive, but now it's not in terms of Richmond. Instead it's all Hawthorn. Daniel Chick in front.
Done well,
right
Chick.
there with him, Gasper. Oh, he got through. Got away from Gasper. Has to go again. Gasper pushed him in the back. Free kick. I'm sure Chick acted to a degree, but he was very clever.
Broderick coming off the ground, and Leon Cameron back on. As we have another look at this.
Yeah, he pushed himself forward. It's a very wide option he's taken in finding Thompson.
Well, the Tigers are trying to find some form, but every time they go up a notch, the Hawks have been able to respond and take their level up as well. And generally, if you win these type matches, these are the goals that go through.
Big kick this one, Jared. Don't worry about that.
Well, we've got a good view of it. Nathan Thompson kicked 1 goal this afternoon. What a great kick! It wobbled and it hobbled and it bubbled, but it went through. I don't know if they're words, but 10-2 to 7-7.
I reckon you're going to right until Pobbled.
Well, he's been great, Thompson. With Farrell off the ground. I mean, he has certainly been brilliant. His second quarter was outstanding. Now he's gone forward as a ruckman.
There's the
kicked
Pobble,
2 goals. There it is, a Pobble right at the end, and Hobble.
Well, speaking of Hobble, the Hawks looked to be shot to pieces when Holland went off. Wren didn't take his place in the side, and his replacement, O'Farrell, was nobbled. But they are they're exciting to watch at the moment, the Hawks. You can see a side that is just drawing on every bit of character they've got, and they're here to prove a point to the footy world.
Just watching now, Rawlins. Sorry, Jared Rawlins now is that loose player in the back line for the Hawks, and Andrew Callaway's doing the same thing for the Tigers.
Yeah, their coach Peter Swabble will be very happy with them. Long one up to 50. Good mark by Callaway. Rogers. They need to respond. Richardson in front. Hay right there with him, working him out of the contest. Umpire says play on. Knights does that by kicking off the ground, which wasn't a bad move. Cameron's gone forward, trying to get onto his left boot. Worked it back for King. Scrappy kick. Tivendale a fumble. All those little signs are all going in favour of Hawthorn at the moment. You can see the confidence surging through them, through the middle. Leckers, Thompson with time and space. If he can pick it up and look up, he'll see a forward line with one more Richmond player than Hawthorn. But now he's got some leads. He might go all the way. Nathan Thompson draws McCabe. Luke McCabe. Yes, he's kicked it. Oh, they are flying, the Hawks.
Just the Clinton King turnover kick. I mean, the play from Leon Cameron was terrific. Kept the ball alive, got the handball to Clinton King, and he turned the footy over. When you turn the footy over and you're playing a side like Hawthorn's playing, and a lot of passion, a lot of emotion at the moment, there's this man, he's been outstanding, Nathan Thompson. I thought he was going to go long, pop the ball over top to Luke McCabe. He's had a pretty good game himself. They're on fire, the Hawks.
And well, he might scratch his head, Danny Frawley.
Pettifer off, and Ray Hall raises back on the ground.
Alton's trying to get the moving out of the middle. He did. He got away to Daffy, who's looked okay when he's been on the ground. Richardson missed it completely, but he gets a chance to make amends. Well done, Richardson. Kept it alive. Campbell, 2 tackles, and ball up. It's just not Richo's day, is it? He really worked hard for that one and got the chance for Campbell, but it just didn't turn into a goal. Lots of Hawks around the ball. No one actually touched it before it hit the ground. Extraordinary for a ball up inside the 50. Not a good clearing kick from Joel Smith. Rogers with the mark. The umpire says you're off. Got plenty of players inboard. Another short option was on for Daffy, but he goes into the pocket, which was, well, it was a good kick, but it is a very tight angle for Brad Alton. Nathan Thompson kicked the goal from a similar position just about 5 minutes ago. This might be slightly more difficult, a little bit further out perhaps, and a little bit more angle. (11-2 to 7-7). Brad Alton's kicked 2 goals so far. And judging by the noise the Hawthorn fans are making, he's missed the lot. They need to respond here, don't they, Richmond? They need to strike a blow, because the Hawks are just playing with the sort of spirit that you wouldn't think they're going to drop off. Joel Smith going for a bit of a stroll, and then off the left. Kicks to a contest. Barlow, is that a mark? No mark paid. He had to release the ball. Half it, and it's out of bounds.
Just watching now here, Jared Campbell now has gone forward here for the Tigers.
Bowyer running with him.
Big goal kicker. Yeah, Bowyer now, yeah.
Holland and Crode. Graham over the top. Clinton King again. Oh, that was a drop kick. Bowden sets it up. Hay to spoil again. He couldn't spoil him.
Well, he got the back position. He just pushed him out. So he's got to do, he's got to get rid of that pest Jonathan Hay.
It was a drop kick.
You could argue that was dropping the ball, but the drop kick back in vogue. He's got to slot this one, Richo.
.28 goals coming into today. Matthew Richardson. He's kicked 2 behind so far today. Crucial kick for him and for the Tigers. He looked pretty good off the boot. He steered it home. Will that be a turning point for Richmond and for Matthew Richardson? He's playing against one of the best in the business in Jonathan Hay, isn't he, at fullback?
Well, no doubt about that, Hutto. Hay's been in outstanding form this year for the Hawks down in their back line. We see a drop kick there from Ben Holland over to Bowden now. Bowden's been pretty good. He's had 16 touches in this game and kicked 2 goals. His opponent's Luke McCabe has had 13 touches and he kicked a goal in that 3rd quarter. So it'd be fair to say maybe Bowden's got his nose in front of that contest. Very important goal to Richo, his first one.
8-7 plays 11-2. Stirring contest, Saturday afternoon footy in round 14. Richmond responding to a Hawthorn side that have been in the doldrums in the last 5 weeks, winning just 1 match, winning just 5.5 quarters out of 25 they played during that time. So they've been soundly beaten by their opposition, but not today, so far at least. Tallis getting the ball moving. Crow kicked it to the space. Dixon couldn't get there. That was great effort. Courage.
Stephen Zilla, that was a sensational mark. Put his body on the line and he's saved his side as goal.
He has. Rogers, normally a goal kicker, at the other end of the ground instead. Big Ray Hall goes for a bit of a stroll.
Right.
Well, he backed himself in a little bit too casual. And on the turnover, Thompson goes for Chick, but Gasper works his way to the front. Well done. He had support. If he could just release the ball, Rogers. And the ball is now over and out.
Just pretty an experience there, Gerald, on Ray Hall's account then. He had a teammate, Joel Bowden, forward here, looked at him and then said, no, I'm going to try and step Nathan Thompson. Yeah, inexperience cost him there. The runner straight at to Ray Hall saying, listen, you got a bloke there, kick it to him.
Ben Holland. Daffy has done some good things. Again, he found Chaffee. This time Tallis sets it up to full forward. Dixon in front. Good spoil. It was clean, said the umpire. Oh, Callaway went in hard. Made it difficult for Harford. And the ball out of bounds again. Just checking some of the possession winners. 17 to Shane Crawford. 7 kicks and 10 handballs. 9 for Hazel. 9 for Chick. 8 for Dixon. 14 for Rawlings. 15 for Thompson and 14 for Crow. And 13 for Lekis, and Daniel Harford's had just 6, one of their normal prime possession winners. We'll check the Tigers in a moment. Good hands from Campbell, who's led the way, and Knights saw what was coming, and he saw it was Joel Bowden. Look at the look of determination on his face.
Goal.
Needs to carry it all the way. Got them inside 50, set it up for lethal Leon Cameron, and he has kicked a very, very important goal. I just wasn't going to call it a goal until I saw the umpire go like that.
She was a good goal, Rod. Great running through the middle of the ground. Started by Wayne Campbell, the captain. Got it onto the bloke who was captain last year in Knights, who smart play, gave to the best kick in the competition. In their side. And despite the fact he didn't use it, I thought he was going to get it back. But Campbell is so dexterous with both legs, Doug. He went left and kicked a goal.
Well, that's Cameron's job to go down that forward line, Gerald, and be a goal kick. He's done a couple of times this year for Richmond. And that was a brilliant left foot kick from Leon Cameron.
Great clearance from Harford. McCabe's kick is beautiful. Sensational. Searing kick into Ben Dixon. Everyone wants to be the umpire now, and Daniel Chick is showing where the divot was as to where the mark should be. But what a great clearance out of the middle for the Hawks.
Let's just see if this could have been intercepted if Stephen Zilla had been watching the ball. He could have just cut off his line, but easy from here.
Well, after that last electrifying goal, Hawthorn with a chance.
They have been able to respond every time, haven't they?
They have all day. Margin stands at 7. And now it's back to 13. Good kick from Ben Dixon.
Well, it's just been the centre work for the Hawthorn side here. I think it was Thompson who got the knockout. Here we are, we can see it now. Thompson's top hand, knockout here over to Hartford. Got quick hands across to McCabe, as I said. Got the job on the dangerous Joel Bowden. And I think you're right, Jared. Silver was running about his opponent too much instead of watching the football on that occasion. I suppose if he was watching the ball, could have maybe got in the road there. But Dixon's been very good up in their forward line. Kicked 3 goals now.
Too easy was the centre clearance that time. It's good work by the Hawks as one of their number in Nick Holland is off the ground with the crook shoulder and is explaining it to Dr. Jackson.
Well, Jacko knows all about injuries, doesn't he, at the moment?
Yeah.
So still plenty of time, obviously, in the match, but also in the quarter. It's gone 22 minutes, but as you can see, still 6 minutes remaining, so a lot more battles to come. Ray Hawthorn doing the ruck work that time. Bowyer just missed his fraction of opportunity then to get it on the boot. He didn't miss that one to get it on the hand, though. Crawford, and again the release goes Hawthorn's way. Kick from McCabe, that time wasn't quite as effective, but it might be here. Hazel just couldn't get it back.
Kicking for goal today from Hawthorn's been terrific. 12 goals, 3. The old saying, good kicking for goals, good football. They've been good in that area.
Joel Bowden. Rogers out towards the boundary. It was a little dangerous. Ben Holland tried to clear the path for a teammate. Well, they got the free kick. I thought it was the Tigers doing the shepherding. Anyway, Holland kicking quickly. Knights has got to go in a marking contest there with Tallis, and he thought he was being held on to. The umpire disagreed. Tallis, who's had 10 possessions, there's his 11th, and it was spotted up beautifully. Thompson, the juggling mark, playing a good quarter. 16 possessions for Nathan Thompson. Very wide with that kick. Still outside 50. Over the top Lekas for Graham, and he's got it. He's certainly within range. Again, it's a tightish angle.
Never been a noted goal kicker, though, Mark Graham. So this will certainly test him. Daffy off, Burke back on. I'm just not sure whether Ray Hall's got the wherewithal just at the moment to be running with Nathan Thompson, Doug.
Big job for him, Jared. Don't worry about that.
Well, as you said, he's not a noted goal kicker. Has kicked 50 in his career, though, Mark Graham. That was never going to be 51.
Looks like Tivendale having a bit of a spell now, and Pettifer back on the ground here for Richmond.
Well, big clear space here. Leon Cameron, is it? He's going to pick this ball up and play on for sure.
He's playing on half-forward flank. His opponent is Mark Graham. So he was caught out then, Leon Cameron, not chasing him down the ground.
As you said, playing on, came over the line. Went for Burke. Wasn't really a great kick because Crowe was able to work his way to the front. Bowden, clever to get it on. Knights, good shepherding by Pettifer. It wasn't quite as good as it could have been because it allowed the Hawks to get back on it. What an excellent smother from David Burke. Chaffee to apply the tackle. Crawford, well done. Johnson's handball was just a little bit inept, didn't have enough on it. Good work from David Burke. Opens it up for Clinton King. His disposal wasn't good. It really wasn't good. If he had hit Rogers, he would have been away. Instead, it's Hawthorn moving forward. Hartford having to go back before they could go forward. Joel Smith up to centre half forward, just maintaining possession. And now the Tigers have got extra numbers. Back inside the 50. The Hawks able to push it away. He's a big kick, Graham, when he lets one fly into the square. Oh, Daniel Chick. They all went down. Well, they all went up. He stayed down and kicks the goal.
Hurt his leg too.
Cramp. Well, it's a tough game, AFL footy, and Clinton King, he's been a sensational player for the Hawks in the job he's done on Hartford, and yet he's chucking it all away with just poor disposal. That's 2 kicks in this quarter that have cost them goals. And whilst that may seem harsh, that's the reality of playing AFL footy. If you can't kick, you're going to really struggle. And you've got to be able to hit targets, more so in this era than just about any other era of the game.
Goalpost coming in handy there for Daniel Chick. Had a bit of cramp, but he seems to be okay now. 20 points the difference. Again, it's the Tigers that need to respond. The Hawks, every time they've been challenged, have been able to do that. Crowe emerging with it out of the middle. Get them going again. Kicks to the space. Dixon in front. The umpire said the spoil was okay. Gee, that was terrific handling from Chappie. And now they're away, pushing to the wing. Campbell looking at his options. Sets it up for centre half forward. Well done, Richo, to get clear. Looks like Rawlings has gone to him at the moment, with Hay playing on Ottens in the goal square. So interesting change, that one, given the effectiveness that Hay has had. He's been pinged holding the ball. Pettifer takes it, goes short. Graham made a good spot. No, he didn't. Well, I'm wondering if there's any contact made.
I know, I'd love to see the replay. Again, I reckon the umpires thought that the player was going to do something wrong, and he's blown the whistle even before any contact was made. That was not a free kick.
No,
what Graham did there was fantastic.
I reckon that was a free kick for sure. He went straight into his face.
I think the replay shows that it probably was.
Well, Mark Graham didn't even look at the footy on that occasion. He just ran straight at Paul Broderick.
So Broderick went for the pass, and he knew he had height on the side of Ottens, but it's a different story against Jonathan Hay. It is a different story. So the Tigers not making use of their opportunities again. Crawford kicks it out of bounds. Well, he did make contact high, didn't he?
Well, he never looked at the ball once, Mark Graham. He ran straight at the Richmond player, Paul Broderick. That's a free kick.
Well, I reckon Aussie hasn't changed his mind, but I don't think we have up here either.
Gasper.
Classic AFL decision.
Yeah. Well, they're inside 50. Zilla, good hands to get it out. Knights couldn't take it within. Graham, clearing kick. It's all Richmond, though, in the middle of the ground. Tawney, he just got the kick away in time. Ben Holland can't afford to just pump it because the Hawks have got numbers back. Chaffee trying to be careful with it. Oh,
that's poor.
Kick to the area where all the Hawks were. Mark Graham. It is difficult out there, no doubt, to be making those decisions under the pressure of the game. Hawthorn leading by 20 here, though. And under 2 minutes remaining in the quarter.
Burke's gone back on Chick. Gasper's gone forward, following Dixon down, who's just giving extra support and defence.
Looks like Cox now coming off. He's been very good for him. 11 touches off the back flank.
Stood tall for them, Doug, today.
Yeah, been very good.
Brett Johnson has to go short. Wasn't the greatest option, but they had the numbers there. Harper, he's caught. Did he get the handball away in time? He did. Joel Smith, a real up and under. Oh, tell us, what a leap! He almost accidentally took the mark. The umpire said he didn't interfere. Oh, the Tigers almost made a meal of that. Tawney, a desperate touch, and that is the longest point I've ever seen conceded.
Well, I don't think he meant to do it, did he?
Oh, yes, he did.
Jeez, a brave effort from the number 6. Let's have a look to see if this was the longest conceded point ever. Spot on, Hutto. And he went with the inside-out torpedo.
Tigers waiting for Leon Cameron to get back. You can see less than a minute remaining. Margin out to 21. I think that's the biggest margin there's been all day. Guided it for Holland. Good grab. So they've got 40 seconds to try and take it the length of the field. Holland not wasting any time.
At the back.
Bowden outnumbered in front. Graham took the mark and then copped one to the scone.
He did. Get the backhander.
Geez, he's been terrific this quarter, Mark Graham. Matter of fact, he's been good all day.
Watch for the backhander from Bowden.
Oh, a bit of a clip.
Just a little whack.
I think he timed the backhander a little better than he actually intended to, Joel Bowden.
Yeah, probably looks a little bit worse on camera than what I saw at the boundary line. Look, it was almost like it was a reflex action, and Joel Bowden was just trying to knock the ball away.
Well, he shouldn't have been knocking the ball away at that stage because he'd taken the mark, so it could have been a 50-metre penalty. Should have been, in fact. Cox.
Play on.
He does. There was no one on the mark. Maybe they can get a mark here. Daniel Chicklett, the man most likely. Daffy in and out of trouble. Ray Hall. Oh, hearts in the mouth stuff. McCabe, only seconds remaining. Siren's going to sound here. And Tallis is going to have to kick the 70-metre taunt. He doesn't believe he can do it. So he gives up the opportunity. Three-quarter time at the MCG. It was Hawthorn's quarter. They led by 2 at half-time. Now they lead by 21. After a month of misery, has the wound turned for the Hawks? 13-4-82 to 9-7-61. Back with the last quarter in just a moment. Quarter from the MCG. Richmond starting 21 points behind with the job ahead of them. And Thompson, who's carried a heavy load today, has done a great job. Bowden's tried very hard, but Chick, he was so important for them in the third quarter. And how important could he have been for them then if Lekas had have converted?
Geez, he's been a good player for them at centre-half forward, Chick. Unusual type of player to play there, but he's just giving them a contest. He's leading up and he's creating a drama for the Tigers at ground level.
Cameron, with no obvious option, had to go very short. But with such excellent disposal, he was able to do that. Holland, the umpire said he's off now, and he's got nothing to go to other than just bomb it long. Richardson, big lead, just couldn't bring it down. Gee, Daffy hit the pack really well. Couldn't take the footy with him, but some good signs. That was clever from Graham. Released Crow, got it in quickly. Hazel will take the mark and run in and kick a goal. How's his first game going? 2 goals in his first game. And that is a goal that Richmond could ill afford.
Just harassing, and it was Crowd again, Doug.
Yeah,
Crowd has been
very
a
good. 17 touches now, Jared Crowd. He's had the 4 marks. Since quarter time, the Hawks have kicked 12 goals to Richmond only 6. They've dominated since quarter time.
And Hawthorn have been as good as the Tigers have been bad.
14-5 against 9-7. Ben Holland running in the ruck now to try and match Crow. Campbell has worked very hard all day. Daffy just overran it. Crawford was brought down and it was effective. Gasper, unusual fumble. And Joel Smith able to find the line.
And Hutto, Matty Knights can't run. I'm not too sure what's wrong with him, but he'll have to come off.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Ozzy. Looks like he's going to come off, and Greg Tivendale's just warming up this stage.
He didn't want to come off, did he, Knights? Talking to the doctor. Chris Bradshaw. Campbell. Broderick just got an important little fingernail to it there. Rogers had Knights and Campbell behind him. Knights able to fashion a kick Campbell away, but went straight to Crawford, and Rawlings provides the switch, and he can go. He can just keep on going. He went the pass. Instead, he might get it back. He does. Hazel using Rawlings. Jade Rawlings, great stuff. Set it up beautifully. Didn't panic and found the man right on the end of it, who has been terrific, Nathan Thompson.
Shane Crawford has been absolutely brilliant. He's had 21 touches. He's used the ball beautifully. He's had 6 tackles. And a switch kick. When you're going to switch kick, you've got to find a teammate on his own. Knight's off the ground having a bit of a spell, and he did that. Great runner from Jade Rawlings too. Has got the job on Matty Richardson. Richardson was caught 10 metres behind him on that occasion.
Thompson. This would be a body blow for Richmond. From 50, it won't make the distance. Almost a Hawthorn mark. Daniel Chick had a couple of cracks at it. They thought it was a goal. The goal umpire had a smile. So the Tigers live again. Cameron kicking in, looking for Gasper and Holland. They all spoiled each other. Lord, to his own advantage, able to keep it in, and he gets it back again. There's a great hand from Lekas, and Lord, unfortunately, couldn't make the most of it. Margin now 5 goals though. Cameron saw Bowden down the middle. It was a great kick, an outstanding kick in, especially when you hit someone like Joel Bowden. Chloe handball straight to a man under pressure in Tivendale. Shocking play really by the Tigers. They can do nothing right. Half of the fumble. Mills sneaking in, did a good job. are under pressure there. Clinton King usually good with the hands. He also put his teammate under pressure. Goes again. That time he gets Campbell. Now he has to kick. He was under pressure, had to kick it really quickly. Rogers to spoil. All Hawthorn players at the fall of the ball. Harford beautifully wrapped up by Daffy. Not beautifully enough though. There was another handball that went astray. So the pressure's starting to show on both teams. But it's the Hawks that are standing up. Vandenberg out wide. And Thompson, what a game. As we've said, 19 kicks, 7 marks and 2 goals from Nathan Thompson. Joel Smith could accelerate away from Bowden. And then with a low flying pass, he goes for Chick, but he misses him by quite a considerable distance. Mark Graham just got a bit of a sandwich job from Mills and Rogers. Daffy around the corner. Saw Mills on the wing. Oh, he got a hard bounce to hang on to. Tallis, in the end, probably could have done a little better for the Hawks, but they'll be happy to have the ball over the line and out of bounds. And just a reminder about our website, i7sport.com.au.
Just play with no real system at the moment, the Tigers, at all.
5 goals. Here's the equation for them. Daffy in amongst it, Tivendale. Oh, Trent Crowe has just given away a silly free kick. For no apparent reason. Let's watch Holland carefully. Oh, what was that about? Gaspar. Oh, Bowden gone. Knew he wanted to go onto his left side. Was at least able to get it back to Gaspar. Gee, they are just making mistake after mistake, and it's pressure, perceived or otherwise. Hottons to make a statement, yes. Good mark, and he's got a couple inboard. Wanted to get it off to Bowden, went to Rogers instead, and they just gave him too much of an opportunity. That is a terrible decision. There's no way he marked that. Well, I'll stand to be corrected. Maybe he did, but gee, I don't think he had it long enough.
Thought it may have been the free kick Hutto at the end. It may have been paid by the umpire coming over the top here.
Well, that could be different then.
No, there'll be no free kick in that.
Must have been, because it wasn't a mark, was it?
It wasn't a mark. Gee whiz. Why would you muck around the footy when you've got marking options of Ottens and your forward line of Richardson and the midfield want to chip the ball around and muck around? Get into them one-on-one. Gee whiz.
Well, it's been terribly scrappy by the Tigers so far in this quarter. Matthew Rogers kicks pretty surely.
Good kick.
Excellent kick under pressure. There's one back for them. So it's a 4-goal ball game at the MCG, and there's certainly time.
No doubt about that, Hutto, but they're going like losers at the moment. The Tigers are getting in each other's way as much as anything else. May have paid the mark, but the game's certainly not gone. If they can just somehow muster up 4 or 5 players with the strong enough will to start running and get the correct disposal, make the right decision, they can kick a few goals and give themselves a chance.
14-7 to 10-7. Ray Hall beaten comprehensively that time by Thompson. Campbell couldn't get it clear. Harford well wrapped up. Good work from Daffy's. Played promisingly well for the Tigers, given his opportunities. Graham, well, it was excellent, except it went straight back into the middle. Tawney told to pump it long. Richardson's on a long lead and he'll get there. So Richardson to try and lift them. Moves it quickly, sets it up. He went for Ottens and he couldn't get him. Ben Holland around the corner. Good quick thinking. Unfortunately, from a Richmond point of view, he missed.
Well, it was a mark that had to be taken, and it was a 2 grab. So Brad Ottens, he's got some work to do in that department as well. It's a good kick coming in from Richo and a good setup from the Tigers. So maybe there's another twist in the tail of this match yet.
Well, we've seen some excellent comebacks in recent weeks. The Kangaroos just 2 weeks ago almost got across the line against the Hawks, so they'll probably have that in the back of their mind. Angelo Lekis, 19 possessions, 8 marks, kick 1 goal 1. Very short. Oh, hesitation among the Hawks as to who was actually going to go for it. Cox, they just want to make sure here they don't get too negative and start kicking the ball too short.
He's going to kick it backwards, you reckon?
Well, they can swing it. They have got 1 extra man on that side of the ground. And Lekis spots him.
Richo couldn't quite get there, the big athlete.
Well, he was more concerned, I think, about making sure that he didn't get away. Rawlings bombed a little blindly to centre-half forward, and that's an excellent mark by Nick Daffy, who really is showing some good signs. His 11th possession is pretty good. Spotted it up for Callaway, who can go to Wattens. He had to go fairly wide to come and get the mark. He has. There's room in front of Richo if he goes to him quickly. He does go to him, but by now he's deep in the pocket. And, oh, well done, almost well done by Gasper. Hayes gone back to Richo by the look of that, unless it was just a temporary little swap.
Knight's back on the ground, and maybe he'll be able to add some clean ball skills, because there's not a lot happening there for the Tigers as another one gets fumbled.
Still looks pretty proppy too, though, Jared. Matty Knights.
Well, they're in attack, and they're just looking a little more dangerous just at the moment. Holland doing the ruck work, which is interesting with Otten standing by. Richo, the oncoming man was Harper. Oh, Otten's, well, he did pretty well in the end, because Knights should have kicked the goal. Just couldn't bring it back far enough. I thought Ottens had just tried to be a little bit too clever then, but he got the ball to Knights.
They're getting plenty of the footy over the last 4 or 5 minutes at Tigers. They look a lot better side when they start to move the ball directly in their forward line. Don't chip the ball around. Give Ottens and give Richardson a chance.
We saw Joel Smith get the ball in quickly there to Tallis. They wanted to get it moving because they know the spaces are there if they can get it moving quickly. McCabe floated it through the middle. Good running again by Crawford. A more positive move. Suddenly stopped in his tracks, but he gets a good lead.
Just too easy running through the middle of the ground. There's no accountability for their men. Richmond after the kick-ins.
A vacant square. Chick saw it. He might have just waited the kick for Thompson, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's gone through for a behind. 10-9 plays 14-8 now. Adrian Cox will be pretty happy with his game. 13 kicks.
Very good.
5 marks.
It's been a long time between drinks for him. Saw him in his very first match. It was a night match, and he was a star. He was a goal sneak in those days. But
I think he played in the Premiership in the Ansett Cup. To centre-half forward again. Hay, too good for Richardson in the air. He's been for most of the day. Well done by Knights. Good release on the handball. They're still fighting the Tigers. Ottens is not able to control it. Graham. It's a little dangerous, but it was okay. Barlow. He wanted to find someone at centre-half back. He went long for Chick, and the boundary line actually was probably the target, with Chick knowing Chick was going to get there first. Tackle by Mills was a good one, but good work from Chick to get it back somewhere in the direction of a teammate in Bowyer. Tigers wanted to keep it in. Campbell's handball wasn't really ideal for Daffy, and it's out of bounds. Well, Wayne Campbell will know that the Tigers need to get the next goal here. We've certainly had a lot more of the footy, as Dougie said, in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Broderick didn't have anyone to release it to, or if he did, he was a bit slow. Chick got it off the ground. Dixon, good ball handling.
Just hungry are the Hawks.
Yep.
They are at the moment at every contest. Spoil from Hall over Thompson, could have been a free. It wasn't. Tawney in the back against Hazel, it wasn't either. Knights, well tackled, dropped it, could have been pinged again, wasn't. Callaway a handball, Hazel a miss. Daffy, long kick, got it forward quickly. Gaspar on the chest, get back in there. Mills could go to 50. Andrew Mills, what a kick for the young man, and it was too much for him. He's missed the lot.
I think a bit of an experience for young Andrew Mills there. He probably could have carried the ball a little bit further inside 50. It could have been only 20 metres out, Jared. It would have been a lot easier for him.
Hey, well done, Campbell. Stood up. He goes to Rogers, who is a goal kicker, doesn't try this time. Otten's a lot to beat in that pack. Good spoil from Hay. All Tigers at the front. Oh, Bowden just didn't get enough contact onto the footy, and it releases the Hawks. Barlow and Smith had Crawford, but he went longer looking for Dixon, who was pushing down the ground, giving them something on the wing. The ball went out of bounds, but he's working overtime. All the Hawks are.
Young Mills off the ground, having a bit of a spell now after that situation. Had to kick that goal. I suppose Matthew Knights too. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Matty Knights, been an outstanding player, but they're the goals that he's kicked in the past, and you can't miss those ones about 5 minutes ago.
Bowden too had the chance, didn't he? Just didn't get enough onto it. Holland, who I think they've decided is the better matchup to run around with Crode around the ground. Oh, Chaffee, what is he doing? Well, that is extraordinary. He just pulled his kick at the last minute, otherwise he was completely gone for deliberate, you would think. Mind you, they don't pay it off the boot too often.
Remember Daniel Chick did one here about 4 weeks ago that was not paid.
In the dying moments against the Kangaroos, there's a free kick. That was the day they missed the 7 seconds.
Yep.
14-8 to 10-9. Ben Holland, the Tigers, trying to dig deep here. Nothing going right for them at the moment. Sends it forward, looking for Richardson. Oh, big leap Pettifer. He made a contest of it, but Joel Smith read it off the pack, got the handball away. Importantly, Bowyer tried to fashion a kick and did that. Well done, Clinton King, on a man like Jade Rawlings. Got him over the top. Rawlings shoveling it out. Bowyer away. Guided the ball forward. It wasn't a bad kick. No free kick, but it doesn't matter for the Hawks because Lekas has got it. Oh, he swung it inboard looking for Crode. It was dangerous and opened it up for the Tigers. The talk wasn't particularly good. Bowden was dropping the ball, wasn't paid. McCabe, a handball. It won't matter. Leave it to Shane Crawford. Long kick to forward. Oh, it's a mark to Thompson. He's been a star.
Well, the Hawks have been fantastic. The Tigers, the less said about them, the better. They can't get out of their own way at the moment. They're just going through one of those matches. But I reckon most of it is because of the Hawks' pressure, Doug.
The pressure's been terrific, particularly since quarter time, Jared, by Hawthorn. They look like they wanted to win the game a lot more than Richmond after quarter time.
With authority, it's a goal.
Leon Cameron having a bit of a spell coming from the ground. I'm not sure with Joel Bowden or what was going through his mind there when that ball come across here. We can see it right now. There's Holland went to block.
Well, maybe he thought he was going to get the block.
Yeah, maybe he thought he was going to get the block or thought he was clear. And I think the word you said just a minute ago, Jared, was absolutely spot on. Pressure from Hawthorn been outstanding. Thompson's been terrific.
So Cameron on the bench. Is that enough? It would seem so, but there is time if the Tigers really got something going. Hall doesn't look like it the way they're going, though. The Hawks out of the middle. McCabe, well tackled, but he got rid of it, so he got clear.
Shit.
It was a terrible kick, and that was even worse. Tallis knew that Crawford was away, and away he goes. Captain Crawford, one for the road from Shane Crawford. He's back. It's been one of his best games since he won the Brownlow medal. 26 possessions, 3 marks, 7 tackles, and this goal, which has finished off the Tigers.
Ben Holland will be saying to himself, gee whiz.
I reckon he'd be saying a bit more than that.
What he'd be saying, Danny Frawley, after watching that? I mean, that's just a shocking turnover.
I reckon Danny Frawley would just get this videotape and put it through the shredder.
Sure.
Just put the videotape through the shredder.
Yeah.
It's the only option here.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, Jared. No
Third on the ladder, the Hawks. They've put the Tigers. They're playing like their third bottom.
Yep.
What a response by Hawthorn. What a game from Crawford and Thompson and co. Clinton King, Ottens. Too late for the Tigers now, it would seem. Broderick takes the mark, kept it moving. Daffy took an extra step to balance himself.
Free kick, Knights.
Not
Got
paid.
grabbed, umpire saw it, just elected to ignore it.
Well, Nick Daffy, I would think, would be one of the few positives for the Tigers out of the game. Lekas, Rawlings. 19th possession coming up for Jade Rawlings. Again, finds his man, Tallis. He's got better as the game's gone on as well. 16 touches for Braden Tallis. Made it a little difficult for Trent Crode. Has been another real bonus for the Hawks. His 18th possession lands at centre-half forward. No mark for David Burke. And the ball up.
Well, Trent Crode, I reckon, has been a standout for them today, simply because he's given them the run through the middle of the ground and the grunt. He's a powerful man, and he's capable of just giving them extra legs. He's very quick, and he's shown that he can get plenty of touches as well.
Broderick using Gasper. Just broke clear in time. David Burke. It's a wobbly old kick.
Can you believe that?
And look at Richo, his body language. He wasn't going anywhere. It was a bad kick. And Hay was the man that was able to clear it. Now they might get another chance. Great tackling from Tallis. Richardson over his head. He knew it was coming over the back. Good tackle. Harper dropped it, but managed to get boot to ball. And that meant that Crow could find Crawford. So he's going to get another touch. Maybe another goal, Shane Crawford. Goes for the long bomb. It is a mighty kick. Set up for Daniel Chick. Yes, no. Wait.
He's out.
Lord will kick a goal instead, will he? No. Behind conceded. Well, he did everything but take the mark. Dear Daniel. Let's have another look at it.
One grab, two grabs,
Hit the deck.
and then decked it.
Hit the deck. Be good check. And Dixon down there in the forward line.
They'll be a happy camp at Hawthorn tonight, Doug.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that, Gerard.
They won't be so happy across at Punt Road. King.
This is perhaps their worst performance of the year, the Tigers. I haven't seen a few of their other losses, but this has been a lamentable performance. It just goes to show you, you're going to have success in the finals. You just got to get your timing right, because everybody up there, bar the Bombers and the Blues, maybe not even the Blues, have had a couple of horrid days.
Well, it was Richmond that towed up Carlton, wasn't it? Just about a month ago. Cox goes long for goal. He's kicked it. And they'll enjoy that. And none more than Adrian Cox. Second goal. And the margin is blown out to 40 points.
And a little bit on the way through, getting even cockier is Adrian.
If you could say that, Jerry, which you did. But just tell you what, the last 5 minutes, have they turned the footy over Richmond? Their foot skills have been
5 minutes, you've been
disgraceful.
lenient. They were about the last 50 minutes.
The foot skills of Richmond have been terrible. Danny Frawley has been absolutely dirty on the way they've turned the footy over by a foot, which they take a lot of pride in.
I wonder why they're throwing the ball up, are they?
Well, they must have just decided it's too wet in the middle of the ground. Too wet and slippery.
I think they're just making a point to the administrators. They're sick of bouncing.
Oh, well, that'd be a fairly strong independent decision to make. 17-9 to 10-10.
Crawford's had 8 touches this quarter's, boys, for 27 for the game. Lecker 7, Harp at 7. Been terrific, their midfielders. The 6-footers have been great.
5.5 minutes remaining in the game. Broderick. Tivendale is out of bounds.
Well, I reckon the seeds of this loss for the Tigers was sown last week, where they took a very casual approach to the St Kilda game. And whilst they got out of that one because a few individuals lifted, and the Saints' talent level at the moment isn't all that flash, they weren't able to do it against the Hawks. They've hit a real hurdle as far as their preparation just at the moment. They're going to have to respond, the Tigers, if they want to have an impact in the September.
And they've got Port Adelaide too, Gerard, next week at Footy Park.
Yep.
Well, we mentioned earlier that they play from here anyway. 5 teams, I think, that are in the 8 at the moment on their way home. Daffy, good kick. Pettifer. Shown in recent weeks that he can kick the goals, but today, unfortunately, his kicking boot eluded him. 2 behinds. It's a pretty tough ask from here from outside 50, but he's made excellent contact, just a little away to the left, and he has to make do with his 3rd behind.
I think you mentioned today, Gerard, in your article in the Herald Sun, how important Brendan Gale is to this Richmond side. I totally agree with you. He's just such an important player for him. Richardson being taken from the ground now, with Young Mills back on the ground.
Barlow. Well, the Hawks know they can safely maintain possession at this stage. It's too late for the Tigers now, with a margin around the 40 points. Brett Johnson dragged down.
Who'd you like today, Doug, if you had to give the votes?
Gee, Gerard, I'll tell you what, Thompson's been outstanding. I think he's been very, very good. Graham, Croat's been back in touch. Crawford's been absolutely brilliant. I don't think I'd be able to fit a Tiger player in there, Gerard, to 3-2-1 at this stage.
Ben Dixon. Good kick. Another one coming up. Angelo Lekis.
Angelo's had a good day.
He has had a good day. He's had 11 marks, Angelo.
And this will be his 20th kick.
Doug, you've been doing some research just on the Tigers' goal scoring.
We'll come back to that. Here's Lekis. Speaking of goal kicking, there's another one. Just like the other one.
And Angelo caps off another pretty fair day. 20 kicks, 4 handballs, 11 marks, and 4 tackles.
And Doug, you've been doing some
I have done a bit of research. Thank you, Hutto and Jared. Richmond got to within 7 points at the 20-minute mark of the third quarter. Since then, the Hawks have kicked 6 goals. Make that 7.
Time to go.
Well, they're getting out early. They want to get to their mobile phones and get on talkback radio. Hutto used to work in that industry. It's going to be nice and fiery on the way home from disappointed Tiger fans tonight.
Yeah, it certainly will be. So close to the line from the Lekis kick off the ground, and it's out again. Dougie, for those that missed it, it was so good, that research. Can we just have it again?
Richmond got to within 7 points at the 20-minute mark of that third quarter. Since then, Hawthorn have kicked 7 goals.
You'd never know you were reading that, Dougie, either. Ottens. Cleverly done.
Where else do you do it? You've got to read it. Good kick, huh, Jado?
Yes, I was, actually. 18-9 to 10-11. Last few minutes of misery for the Tigers. Sun's poked through late in the day, hasn't it? Sort of. The lights certainly have taken effect. Went through Knights' legs almost, that one.
This bloke's had a big game again.
Possession number 19 for Joel Smith. Ben Dixon, who's worked really hard. Got up to full forward. Another chance for Lekis. Gee, he gets from one end of the ground to the other pretty quickly, doesn't he?
Got himself
Gasper?
super fit, Lekis.
Burke. Out of bounds, under 2 minutes left now.
I'll tell you what, Jude, a lot of critics saying that Richmond haven't improved in these crunch games. I mean, a lot of people had an opinion that they let themselves down, and once again today, it is a crunch game, don't worry about that. Both sides on 9 wins. They have let themselves down here today.
Well, they've done nothing, have they, Doug,
So they've improved.
Well, they're going to come to September if they make it, and they're going to get into the big games, and you won't be tipping Richmond with any confidence.
Chick, maybe just a little bit too cute on that occasion. No, it doesn't matter. It'll end up in another goal. Very easy for the Hawks. Crode kicks it. It's his first.
And he kicks himself into the votes, Doug. I reckon we can find one for Trent Crode after today's performance. He's been had some bad days this year. He's been played in the forward line. They've let him off the hook today. They've let him go in the midfield. And I think he's enjoyed that role. And he just slams one home, and he'll be a pretty happy young man tonight.
I think with Farrell going from the ground, Jared, it's been a bit of a blessing, if you know what I mean. With him going onto the ball, Crode, who started centre-half forward, he's been great. And of course, Nathan Thompson, too, taking up that role in a ruck. And he's kicked 3 goals, had plenty of the ball himself.
Not sure there'll be much discussion about the game plan today, this week, Hutto. It's all worked magnificently for the Hawks. They did set up with slightly more one-on-ones, which was good. I think they've really dominated the midfield today, and on today's performance, they're almost back to their best.
Aaron Lord. There's some good work there back in defence.
This bloke's been good.
Shane Crawford going for a bit of a promenade along the southern wing. Celebrate one more goal, perhaps the Hawks. Into the square. Chick just bustling his way through. Stolen by Harford, who's kicked the goal. He does the jig. Woohoo!
Yes, this I think is just symptomatic of the performance of the Tigers. There's no resistance here whatsoever. I think the white flag went up about 15 minutes ago. And they're very excited, Daniel Harford.
The back six have been outstanding too as well for Hawthorn. Yep. Plenty of run out of their back line, been terrific.
Well, they're getting flogged now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
20 goals to 10. 10-goal drubbing. 58 points with only 20 seconds remaining in this game. Huge boost to the Hawks, confidence-wise, as well, of course, as the 4 points consolidate their place in the top 4. And there's the siren. And they are pumped. Adrian Cox promoted from the reserves, and the Hawks and their fans enjoying hearing that song again. They've only heard it once in the last 5 weeks, but they worked really hard today. Richmond were ordinary, no doubt about that. But 20 goals, 8 to 10-11. Daniel Chick, he was great when he went forward, and they kept on working all day. And Danny Frawley just learning another lesson in the life of a coach. Let's get down to Aussie.
Well, Croft, a 10-goal win, but it wasn't just a 10-goal win, a real character-building win. You've run yourself ragged. You must be happy not just with your own performance, but that win in total.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, we worked very hard. We were hard at the ball. And Richmond have been in great form, so it was a real big test for us today. Been a bit disappointing over the last few weeks, but, you know, it's a fantastic win. Now we've just got to make sure we can be consistent.
When Nick Holland went down, what does the group do? Do they say, look, we can't have our guys going down like that, we've got to win it now, or is much said about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way football is. You know, there's always injuries, and, you know, Nick Holland's had such a bad run, but he'll be back. We'll get behind him, and we'll make sure he's right for the finals, and hopefully we'll be a part of that. You know, he's got such great character, and, you know, we can't wait for him to get back out. I don't know how long he's going to be out for, but he's such an important player to our side.
And just finally, Nathan Thompson, whether it was in the ruck or down forward, I thought he was terrific today.
Yeah, he's an angry, big man, and that's what we need. We need a couple of angry, big players in our side. Nathan was fantastic. Runs hard, he's got great endurance, and he has a red-hot go, and that's what we need.
Well, well done, Croft. Please enjoy. Well done.
Thanks, mate. See you.
Well done, mate.
Well, the Hawks giving Anzo Lekis a lift-off in his 100th game, and he played well in game 2. 20 kicks and a terrific effort from Anzo Lekis and all the Hawks. And Ian Dicker, certainly a very contented president this afternoon.